From a tribe to an empire. Rest video is purement para intratnamento y no infringe de recos de autor aniles. Los de recos de la novela y la imagen son del autor original, no reclamamos propiedad. No te gusta esperar y quieres escuchar este fanfic completo ahora? Suscríbete a nuestro Patreon, donde encontrarás los mejores fanfics. Chapter 202. Disgust. It is even more impossible for Qin Yan to allow such an organization to exist. They are pursuing peace, but they are constantly attacking the surrounding empires. Compared to those powerful empires that are truly decisive in killing. This kind of hypocritical guy is even more disgusting. So at that moment, Qin Yan immediately ordered, Luminous, I want you to control the ruling power of the St. Laurent Empire. If you have any needs, report to me immediately. The reason why Luminous was chosen because Qin Yan knew that before she came to Valina, the Night Rose Palace was blown away by the Storm Dragon, Voldractin Pest. And according to Qin Yan's memory of his previous life. Next, Luminous's plan is to find a suitable country to station. Then, through the various spiritual control abilities that vampires are born with, the entire empire's political power will be in her own hands little by little. Luminous, whose original body is the Vampire Demon King, protects humans for food and rations. After all, the blood quality of humans who live and work in peace is the best. This is what Luminous is best at. Now sending her to attack the St. Laurent Empire is the best choice. I will follow your orders, Lord. After Qin Yan finished speaking, Luminous nodded and agreed. She is absolutely loyal to Qin Yan. No matter what order Qin Yan gives, she will do everything to complete it. What's more, it is an honor for her that Qin Yan can arrange a special task for her. There is no reason to refuse. Very good. Qin Yan nodded with satisfaction, and then continued. The construction plan of Jin Fortress can be slowed down for the time being. The main task at the moment is to deal with these huge numbers of aliens. And after they are subdued, some dangerous tasks on the front line of the war can be handed over to them to deal with. Yes, Lord. Trisna's eyes lit up when she heard this, and then she agreed immediately. After arranging these two key things. Next, it will be much easier. For example, Altria, Emily and Asuna, the tasks of the three of them are very simple. Patrol around the territory. If you find any aliens who intend to build a territory, they will be subdued immediately. Anyway, most of those aliens will take the initiative to talk to you after seeing you, and only a few need you to chase them. Of course, you don't need to deliberately conceal your breath, just relax and treat it. Matney, Brian, the same goes for you too. Yes, Lord. After listening to Qin Yan's words, several territory guardians nodded as if they understood. They didn't quite understand. Why would those aliens take the initiative to come and communicate with them? Didn't they instantly disperse when they felt their breath? How could they dare to come forward and talk to them? Of course. Since Qin Yan has specifically reminded him, it must be right. Okay, you all start to act. Looking at the confused guardians in front of him, Qin Yan couldn't help laughing. As NPCs, they certainly don't understand the players' feelings. After all, the holographic simulation world is an extremely novel thing for those players in the real world. They will try to find out about any new things. Qin Yan seemed to be able to see it. The players saw Brian and the others, and then went up to accept the task with great enthusiasm, but the latter directly put a knife on their necks. Just thinking about it makes people laugh. Okay, I should get ready too. Recovering his mind, Qin Yan looked at the time and found that there was only half an hour left before the players would come. So, he immediately opened the Lord Space. Then, a shining orb floated out of it automatically. At this time, the system prompt sounded. Ding dong. Do you want to use the god level props, Magic Shadow immediately? At the moment when the orb floated out of the Lord Space. The pleasant system sound rang in Qin Yan's ears. Ding dong. Do you want to use the god level props, Magic Shadow immediately? That's right. Qin Yan was about to use it. It was the god level identity transformation prop that he had obtained a long time ago. After using it, you can transform the title you have into a designated identity template. At the time, you will get rid of your player identity. Directly become a part of the Empire era continent. This god level prop. It is not an exaggeration to say that it is specially designed for Qin Yan. I didn't use it immediately when I got it before. On the one hand, I was looking forward to getting a higher level title, and on the other hand, because no players had come yet. And now, there is only less than half an hour left. It is the time for players in the real world to log in. It is obviously the best time to transform the identity template now. Use it immediately. So, Qin Yan nodded directly. Buzz. 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 It's so cool. Just at the moment when the magic energy touched Qin Yan's body. In the previous life, the best title that all players had ever obtained was only blue level. The god level gem suspended in the air in front of Qin Yan suddenly trembled violently, and then burst out with extremely bright golden light. The terrifying magic energy appeared. What kind of honor is this? As soon as the work fell. After all, the significance of this choice is simply immeasurable. Ding dong. Please choose the title to be converted. What a concept. The heart-pounding magic energy, with the god-level gem as the center, spread out like ripples. The result now. After obtaining the exclusive identity template. The increase provided was amazing. Even as the game progresses, Qin Yan may also have the ability to issue tasks. Not to mention the gold. Qin Yan's breathing gradually became rapid. At this time, the system sounded. As the golden light surged. These were all the titles Qin Yan had. Elf King. Once Qin Yan has a title, other players cannot obtain it again. No one had ever obtained even purple. It is something that ordinary people cannot imagine. Qin Yan alone has mastered 4 gold titles. Several options appeared in his side. System prompt. It cannot be changed after selection. Please consider carefully. The options also shone with bright golden light, which was extremely eye-catching. Dwarf King. And all of them are unique. Lord of the Abyss. Not to mention the players who will descend on the continent of the Empire era and be conquered into the territory of slaves. In the future, any plan Qin Yan is going to implement will be unimaginable. Dragon God. Each title was of gold level. Chapter 203. Lord of the Abyss. So, Qin Yan spoke without any hesitation. Transform the Dragon God title template. Yes, this is Qin Yan's choice. Originally, he was going to transform the Abyss Lord template. After all, compared with other titles, the effect of the Abyss Lord identity template is obviously more practical. First of all, the rank of the troops. All the demons in the underground abyss belong to the 14th level troops. The rank of the troops is far higher than that of the elves and dwarves. Maybe the individual strength of the demons is not as good as the 14th level dragons. But there are many of them, and it is easy to form a legion. A large number of top level 14th level demon legions. The lethality they show is simply unimaginable. However, what I want to build more is the Dragon Legion. Even among the 14th level troops, dragons are definitely top level existences. The only thing that limits their dominance is the problem of reproduction and fertility. That's why the number of dragons on the continent in the Empire era is so rare. Qin Yan was able to subdue 3 dragons in succession. To be honest, it was simply invincible luck. But with the Dragon God Ranch, the breeding of dragons will no longer be a problem. That's right, the reason why Qin Yan chose to transform the title of Dragon God. A large part of it is inseparable from the Dragon God Ranch. The attribute Dragon Nest that provides a strong increase in growth rate. There is also a Dragon Palace that has not yet been unlocked. There is also Dragon Alchemy in the future. The functions of the Dragon God Ranch can not only ensure that the dragons grow steadily in it, but also allow the dragons to show more powerful power. What else is there to worry about? Qin Yan's plan to build a dragon army is just around the corner. But, just at this time. After Qin Yan selected the title to be transformed. The god-level gem suspended in the air in front of him suddenly trembled. And then, it exploded directly on the spot. The god-level gem turned into endless starlight powder, and then swept the rich magic power, all gathered towards Qin Yan. Soon, the pleasant system sound rang in his ears. Ding dong. Congratulations to player Qin Yan, you have successfully obtained the Dragon God Identity Template ? Boom. 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 The moment the system sounded. An inexplicable force descended on Qin Yan and merged with Qin Yan. Endless brilliant golden light shot out from Qin Yan's body. As the golden light surged. Qin Yan's originally extremely powerful aura once again surged at a speed visible to the naked eye. Compared with the increase provided by the title, it is several times more powerful. This is the increase provided by the Dragon God Identity Template. The moment the system sounded. The noble identity of the Dragon God has been combined with Qin Yan's fate. Puff. Someone knelt on one knee below the territory, looking at Qin Yan floating in the air, and said from the bottom of his heart, Supreme Lord. We will serve you forever. Follow you for life. The voice sounded, and in an instant, one figure after another knelt down directly, expressing their absolute loyalty to Qin Yan. The mosquitoes, insects, birds and beasts in the forest all bowed their heads to Qin Yan in the sky, symbolizing their absolute submission to Qin Yan. This is the noble status of the Dragon God. No matter who it is, a noble existence that must be respected. Roar. A shocking dragon roar resounded throughout the entire continent. Deep in the continent, in a mysterious area. A mysterious strong man, whose whole body was shrouded in black fog, was staring at the central area of the continent in astonishment. His eyes burst into a terrifying light and roared angrily. Damn it! Why? Why is there the breath of the Dragon God? Why can the Dragon God be resurrected again after billions of years? At the same time. When the Dragon God ranch appeared earlier. A blonde girl rushed quickly from the dragon domain to the central area of the continent. At this moment, she could no longer hide her inner joy and exclaimed, "Lord Dragon God!" Roar. The speed of the silver dragon under the girl increased sharply again. Is this the power of a true Dragon God? Qin Yan floated above the territory, closed his eyes and quietly felt the changes brought to him by the Dragon God identity template. This kind of change is not reflected by attributes. It should be more of a change in the origin. After obtaining the Dragon God identity template amplification, Qin Yan was like a new life. Every cell in his body was completely transformed. The whole person was reborn. After a long time, Qin Yan slowly opened his eyes. A brilliant light flashed between heaven and earth. At this moment, he felt the change. Although the scene in Qin Yan's sight did not change, he could clearly see a dead leaf slowly falling down, and a few grains of dust surging in the air. Not only the animals, plants, breezes, mountains and rivers, etc. Everything was clearly displayed in front of Qin Yan at this moment. The flow of time did not change. But Qin Yan's thinking speeded up countless times. This change is simply indescribable. And then at this moment, the sky of the entire Empire continent suddenly trembled violently. Are the players ready to descend? Qin Yan reacted immediately and looked up. Sure enough, the originally clear sky was suddenly covered with dark clouds. The terrifying thunder rolled in the clouds. The earth trembled, and the sky and the earth changed color. All the creatures on the ground looked up in surprise at this scene. They didn't know what happened, nor did they know what was about to happen. They could only open their eyes as wide as possible to see the scene in the black clouds. But the result was still nothing. However, they understood clearly. The continent will no longer be peaceful in the era of empires. At the same time, several mysterious strong men who were silent in the depths of the continent suddenly opened their eyes at this moment. When they saw clearly that a few figures occasionally flashed in the sky, their faces were moved. Qin Yan's emotions also became slightly excited. Finally, we will meet again, my lovely players. He looked at the strange scene in the air, his heart filled with endless emotion. But soon, Qin Yan noticed. Perhaps it was because he was still a player. After using the identity template to transform the props. His Lord interface did not disappear. Chapter 204. Chilling. At this moment. Just when the sky vision appeared. The Lord interface popped up automatically. 4 and 26 seconds. Countdown 5 minutes. No, it should be 4 minutes and 26 seconds. This means. At the moment the countdown ends. The player is about to descend. 3 and 45 seconds. 2 and 12 seconds. and 23 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Just when the countdown in Qin Yan's Lord interface finally returned to 0, the terrifying vision appeared. Boom boom. The earth-shaking roar resounded throughout the continent. The sky was still in an instant. The sky, which was originally surging wildly, suddenly stopped. Along with the stillness, everything on the continent also stopped. Qin Yan still remained suspended above the territory, but his body was directly frozen by an unknown mysterious force and could not move even a little. It was not just his body that was frozen. And the residents of Ilana, all of them kept their original postures, quietly frozen in place. 577. Even Qin Yan noticed. The dead leaves that had been slowly falling before suddenly stopped in midair. And the few tiny dust particles no longer fluttered. Even the wind stopped. Time no longer passed, and space no longer existed. It was as if this world was suddenly paused by someone. The picture of the whole world was frozen. Only the deafening roar remained, resounding throughout the world. The only thing left was Qin Yan's thoughts. He could still think, he could still observe everything around him. But he just couldn't move his body. However, just at this moment. Suddenly an ethereal and indifferent voice sounded in Qin Yan's mind. The countdown is over. The time-space connection device is starting. The soul conduction array is condensing. Condensation is successful. Conduction begins. A series of voices sounded in Qin Yan's mind. Compared with the usual system sound, this voice is more ethereal and indifferent, which makes people shudder. As the voice gradually faded away. The originally static time and space also returned to normal. Qin Yan raised his head and looked at the sky again. He saw lightning and thunder in the dark clouds. Suddenly, a giant white light ball slowly condensed and appeared. Boom. The next moment, the light ball exploded. It instantly split into tens of millions of small light balls, and then fell rapidly towards various places in the Empire Era continent. At the same time, there were also countless white light balls falling towards Valina. Landing in the quiet forest, misty mountains, dark swamp, doomsday volcano, crystal song forest. There were at least tens of thousands of white light balls, smashing straight towards Qin Yan. Then they landed on the square in front of Lord Qin Yan's castle. Bang. 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 The light balls fell, and dull sounds rang out one after another. Qin Yan's eyes also looked towards the center of the square. The originally empty and spacious square was now filled with white light balls. And under each light ball, there was a shining magic circle looming. At first, the light of the magic circle was very weak. But soon, it quickly became solid. And after the magic circle was completely condensed and formed. Figures quietly emerged in the center of the magic circle. They were the players who had descended. Haha. I finally logged into the game! Age of Empires. You've been waiting for me so long! Today I want to see what level an online game that dares to claim to have a 99.99% holographic simulation degree of realism can reach! No matter whether it's real or not, I'm the first to log into the game. The damn system should at least reward me with millions of CJBB gold coins to spend, right? Otherwise, why would I build a shitty territory? You idiot. 1 gold coin can hire soldiers to kill you, and millions of coins? Why aren't you dreaming? Stop talking nonsense here. I'm going to take this piece of land today. Accompanied by noisy arguments and discussions. One after another, human figures slowly walked out of the white light group. These figures are tall and short, big and small, male and female, with different appearances and skin colors. But when they walked out of the white light group and looked around, everyone was stunned in place for a moment. The players in the real world had already woken up from the advent. Just as they walked out of the white light ball and looked around, everyone exclaimed, "FK. This is too real, isn't it?" Ha ha ha. I'm making a fortune. It's actually a holographic simulation game. The realism is so exaggerated! It's 99.99% realism. It's like the second world. The 100,000 yuan was not wasted! It's amazing. How could anyone in the world design such a game? This is simply unbelievable. After the players walked out of the light ball, they were stunned by the scene in front of them. Everyone's face was full of disbelief. The players who were originally full of doubt about the game Age of Empires opened their mouths wide and couldn't speak for a long time after seeing the scene in front of them that was almost no different from the real world. As for those heavy game enthusiasts, they showed endless ecstasy. After all, they expected the estimate. With the price of the helmet of the game Age of Empires and the overwhelming publicity, it should be a serious game. But the gimmick still exists. The so-called 99.99% is infinitely close to the reality of the real world. Not to mention a direct halving, but it is definitely impossible to reach such a high level. But now it seems the reality of the game world of Age of Empires is not exaggerated at all. The scene in front of us can be called the second world. However, the players are a little confused. Isn't the birth point given by the system initially a remote place, and then wait for the players to try every means to collect resources by themselves, and search for various building drawings, and then spend a lot of energy to build, before they can create a complete exclusive territory? But the result is now, in the surrounding area of the site, all kinds of buildings are towering into the sky, strong and healthy residents live and work in them, and there are huge monsters flying on the streets to transport supplies. This scale is at least a kingdom-level territory. Does it need to be built? Are you kidding me? Of course. There are only a few players who are thoughtful and can make calm analysis. Chapter 205. Hidden Occupation. Most players didn't think so much. Their minds were still on the game world. I didn't get any rewards. I was the first to log in. Even if I don't have 1,000,000 gold coins, I'll at least have some cat-eared maids to play with! Brother, we're like-minded. But I think succubus should be more fun. If you can really subdue a succubus as a maid, why build a territory? Just have fun! Vulgar. Isn't this kind of maid a standard in the fantasy world? I'm tired of playing with it. The real supreme leader is pursuing an elf girl. A proud and noble elf girl. If you can create such a delicate and soft body, the elf maid group, that's what a great feeling! Come on, you wretched guys, stop thinking about maids all day long. The continent in the Empire era is very cruel. It's almost impossible for guys like you to build a perfect territory. Instead of thinking about conquering maids, you should think about how to survive until the next day! According to me, this should be the so-called novice village. The swordsman in heavy armor in front may be able to obtain a hidden profession. I'll go first! Stop, you bastard! The hidden profession is mine. After a series of complaints and arguments, suddenly, a shocking statement came to everyone. The new players, who were still surprised and happy on their faces, all looked at Brian, who was patrolling around the Lord's castle. After hearing the word hidden profession, they all hurried towards Brian. These guys are so silly and cute. Qin Yan was suspended in the air, quietly watching the players running fast below, with a strange smile on his face. However, he could understand this group of people. After all, the most eye-catching person in the whole square should be Brian, holding a giant sword half a person's height in his hand, and wearing black heavy armor covering his whole body and even his face. Brian's outfit in the eyes of the players is a heavy armored sword king. He was just born, and saw an NPC with such a cool appearance in front of him. Even the players with low game experience must know that there is something strange in it, and they may receive some hidden tasks or qualifications for the transfer of some hidden professions. Even Qin Yan must be unable to hold back. Not to mention these new players. Almost at the moment when someone discovered Brian and exclaimed through the soul conduction magic circle, all the players who descended on the square in front of the Lord's castle all ran towards Brian. Get out of my way! My dad is the president of Sitai Group. I'll kill anyone who dares to compete with me for the hidden profession first! You idiot! This is a game world. Stop pretending here. Go to hell! FK. Don't run if you have the guts! Ha ha ha. You idiots can just fight each other. The hidden profession is mine. Damn, how dare you kick me! Out they ran. The players started a fierce fight. Finally, a man who was about 1.75 meters tall and looked only 17 or 18 years old came to Brian first. Name: Luo Chuan. Race: human. Level: 4-1. Attack: 1-2. Defense: 1. Health: 100. Magic: 20. Attributes: Strength 3, Constitution 3, Agility 3, Intelligence 2. Talent: none. Skill: none. Equipment: none. Title: none. Territory: none. I'm afraid there will be something interesting to watch now. Closing the attribute panel of the player named Luo Chuan, Qin Yan, who was floating above the territory and quietly overlooking everything below, couldn't help but curl up his lips slightly. At this time, on the ground, the player named Luo Chuan has rushed to Brian, and then said with great excitement and joy, "Dear swordsman, I'm an adventurer who has just arrived in this village. May I ask if you have any tasks that I can help you with? Task." Brian was slightly stunned when he heard the words, and then slowly raised the giant sword in his hand under the latter's joyful gaze. Task? Yeah. But unfortunately, the face of the player who was originally excited turned pale in an instant, and then he knelt down directly. A smile emerged from Brian's eyes. If letting you die is also considered a task, there is indeed one. Looking at the cold blade close to his neck and feeling the cold killing intent emanating from Brian's body, Luo Chuan did not dare to move at all. The aura emanating from Brian's body alone was enough to scare him to the point of being unable to move. Feeling the fierce aura emanating from Brian. FK. What does this mean? Seeing this scene, everyone's eyes widened instantly. And in the territory of the novice village, seeing Brian paying attention to him, the player named Luo Chuan was instantly ecstatic. Although I may look relatively weak now, I will be able to grow up soon. So please tell me anything you want. No matter which big boss he was in the real world, or whether he had extraordinary physical fitness, after arriving on the Empire continent, he would completely become a toy to be slaughtered. Puff. He didn't even need to do anything. Surrender. Or die. Qin Yan would not give them this opportunity. Then he knelt down uncontrollably. Luo Chuan had a black question mark face. The dark sword flashing with a cold light had already landed on his neck. The next moment, Brian's cold voice rang out. His current attributes are completely incomparable to Brian. When a group of newly arrived players saw Luo Chuan rushing to the front of the cool-looking swordsman, they all opened their mouths and prepared to curse. Meow, meow, meow. Right now, that's the case. Like a weak sheep, Brian only needed to flick him lightly, and he would bleed to death on the spot. Without any hesitation, Luo Chuan knelt down directly. At the same time, on the ground below. But before he could understand what Brian meant, they saw the black swordsman who was originally stationary suddenly raised the giant sword with a sharp luster in his hand, and then fell on the neck of the player. But before they could open their mouths. Only by building a territory with strong comprehensive strength can one guarantee the survival of his own life. Players, kneeling down to the NPC. Please give me flowers. Chapter 206. Test. Their faces were filled with disbelief, and then they all cried out in surprise. FK. Am I seeing a ghost? What the hell? Exclamation mark. What the hell? These days, NPCs are slaughtering players in the novice village. What the hell is this? Players are just going to die! Exclamation mark. I knew this game was absolutely rubbish. I've never seen a novice village NPC force players to kneel down. What a rubbish production team. What the hell? Exclamation mark. This NPC swordsman can't even see his level and name. If he starts slaughtering players, wouldn't everyone be wiped out on the day of the server opening? Did the designer get kicked in the head by a donkey? Play the next door. Quit the game. I'm going to report this guy to death. It's okay to cheat me out of money, but it's such a bad game experience. Seeing Luo Chuan being forced to kneel down by the game's NPC swordsman, all the new players at the scene were shocked at first, and then all of them were shocked. Everyone became very angry. They really didn't expect that after landing on the Empire continent, the first thing they encountered would be such a scene. How could anyone accept this? All the players on the spot started to curse. What's more, they actually started to unite the players and then formed a circle to surround Brian. Obviously, they didn't have the surname of this evil. They thought that the reason why Luo Chuan, as a player, knelt on the spot was just because of his lack of personal strength. But if everyone came together, it should still be able to suppress the momentum. After all, there are more people. Even if you can't see the level, name or attributes of this swordsman NPC, at least it should be able to give a little pressure. FK, I don't believe this evil today. I have only heard of players killing monsters, and I have never seen a novice village NPC directly knocking down a player when he first logged into the game. That's right, I also think this is absolutely impossible. After all, Age of Empires is a global game. If it can make such a low-level mistake, why is there such a widespread publicity? Isn't it just asking for trouble? I agree. I also think this should be strange. If a global game does such a thing, wouldn't its popularity drop instantly on the same day? How could there be new players buying their game helmets? This is simply impossible! What do you think? Could this just be a test for the swordsman NPC? The player who communicated with him before just touched the hidden job task, but did not meet the qualifications to accept the task, so the swordsman NPC showed such an attitude? Hey, brother, your analysis seems to make sense. I was wondering how an NPC could hurt a player for no reason. It must be the situation you said. It's just that the basic attributes of the player just now are too rubbish and did not meet the qualifications to accept the hidden job, so the NPC suddenly got angry after feeling insulted. Yes, think about it, such a powerful swordsman, and his identity seems to be the guardian of the novice village, but he was suddenly harassed by an unknown person. This must be a shame for him. I think it is normal for him to show such a strong attitude. Don't hesitate. Let's go together. The opportunity is right in front of us. It's impossible to give up. In this case, why don't everyone try it? This is fair and can explain the truth of this matter. What do you think? I agree. Anyway, I don't believe that this NPC swordsman will really kill! Me too. At worst, we will die together! Yeah. Why are you afraid? At worst, we will die together. Thinking of this, the players' confidence increased. Then, they gathered in groups of 2 or 3. They gathered towards Brian in groups. But at this moment, suddenly, a terrifying aura appeared. An extremely powerful aura burst out from Brian's body. Surrender. Or die! Surrender. Or die. Brian's words were sonorous and powerful. As soon as the voice fell, an extremely powerful and terrifying aura burst out from Brian's body. Boom. 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 The earth trembled, and the sky of the earth changed color. As early as when Qin Yan was reborn and landed on the Empire continent, and then began to build the territory. The first subordinate in Valinor to be named by Qin Yan was Brian. And in the process of expanding the territory. The strength shown by Brian has never disappointed Qin Yan. This makes Brian's every move contain a breath of killing and decisiveness. Leading to now. Puff. Wherever it passed, the mountains collapsed and the earth cracked. The aura that Brian exuded at that moment was so powerful that it was hard to describe in words. In addition to the countless life and death battles he has experienced. If you don't kneel down, you will end up dead. It was like a huge rock was thrown into a calm lake. Feeling the terrifying aura of 4.0 emitted by Brian. The extremely powerful momentum swept the whole place. It can almost be said that it has completely advanced to become the top soldier of the 4th level of the field. There was no hesitation. This is a feeling that comes from instinct. A series of dull sounds rang in my ears. At this moment, everyone. And there is another most important point. At the same time, life and death battles can also train his will. The above are added together. After Qin Yan conquered the gate of the abyss and created a large number of demon blood potions, Brian was also that first leader in the territory to drink the demon blood. There is no room for thinking at all. That was the sound of someone kneeling down. Previously, those players who thought that he was just waiting for the new candidate to meet the qualifications for accepting the hidden professional mission because Qin Yan did not meet the requirements, all stopped their steps to continue gathering towards Brian, and then knelt down directly under the suppression of this terrifying aura. Because everyone knew clearly in their hearts. At this time, the demon blood in Brian's body is so rich that it is unimaginable. In the battles, Brian's strength was continuously improved. Puff. The bosses who hold supreme power in the real world. All the players who have just arrived in the Empire era, after feeling the terrifying aura emanating from Brian, all kneeled down on the spot. Or elite soldiers with strong personal abilities. Such a powerful strength. After countless battles, Brian won. After a long period of transformation. And the presidents of consortiums with immeasurable family assets. Puff. The shock wave, like a raging sea wave, quickly erupted like a ripple with Brian as the center. C.S. Escuchando Western Novela on Canal Distinta Mundo Fanfic Novelas, Significat Lo Descarga and Y Superan Sinis Fuetsot Invitamus Cordialmente Visitar Nuestro Canal. Mundo Fanfic Novelas all encontras la versión original de esta historia y podrás explorar muchas otras novelas de diversos narradores. Te esperamos para sumergirte en un mundo de novelas incredibles. Chapter 207. Collapse. Regardless of their identities as players, they might be able to leave this place by logging off, but at this moment, their first reaction in their minds was to kneel down on the ground immediately. Otherwise, they would die. However, Brian was not satisfied with this. The terrifying aura continued to burst out from his body. He pressed everyone on the scene to the ground. This suppression force was indescribable. These new players on the scene could not move at all. Then, Brian removed the pitch black sword from the neck of the player named Qin Yan, who immediately fell to the ground and coughed heavily. Compared with other players, he was oppressed more heavily. If it weren't for the support of the sharp blade on his neck, he might have fainted just now. Of course, he still felt bad now. Although he was standing on the ground, he felt like he was drowning and it was difficult for him to breathe. Brian didn't care about it at all. Clang. The pitch black sword fell heavily to the ground, making a crisp sound of metal collision. It made everyone on the scene sweat again. Then, Brian's deep and powerful voice rang in everyone's ears. In the name of the commander of the Hell Fortress of Valina, I order you to submit to the Supreme Lord! I order you to serve Valina for life, offer everything you have to the Supreme Lord, and not do anything to betray Valina. Violators will be killed without mercy. Bang. After saying that, the giant sword fell heavily to the ground again. It made a loud noise that shook the earth. The players, who were already terrified, trembled more violently. I guess someone will collapse soon. Qin Yan was suspended above the territory, watching this scene indifferently. This scene had long been expected by him. Perhaps some people would say that Qin Yan was cold-blooded and ruthless. But there is no doubt that in the world of the jungle of the Empire, kindness is the least valuable and the last thing that should exist. Qin Yan is now just letting Brian rely on his own momentum to make these newly logged-in players surrender voluntarily. He has not yet asked Brian to do it directly. To suppress these newly logged-in players in a more cruel and bloody way. This is the last bit of humanity Qin Yan has retained. As a reborn, Qin Yan personally experienced the advent of the continent in the Empire era in his previous life, and the order of the real world collapsed, leaving only the most primitive life of survival and advancement. And he himself has been struggling on the edge of life and death for more than 10 years. He deeply understands the dangers of human nature. If other people were in his current position, they might do something more infuriating. To be honest, he is now relatively kind. However, this kindness Qin Yan will eventually abandon it. Because this is something that will threaten his life. For loyal subordinates, Qin Yan can be merciful. But for others, He must be absolutely cruel. This is the survival law of the jungle in the Empire Era continent. Qin Yan's current behavior, to put it nicely, can even be said to be a lesson for the group of people in front of him. Of course, it is also the last lesson. If these people refuse to surrender now, then he will not hesitate at all. He will immediately let Brian kill them all on the spot. And Qin Yan will not feel the slightest guilt in his heart. At this time, it was just as Qin Yan expected. On the ground, the new players arrived. Under the suppression of Brian's absolute momentum. All of them trembled violently. And then, no one knew who started it. Everyone shouted in panic at the same time. Quit, I want to quit! Exclamation mark FK. The 99.99% realism. I want to quit! Exclamation mark crap. Holographic simulation game. I'll never play it again! Exclamation mark let me out, let me go. Although among the first batch of players who logged into Age of Empires, many of them were commissioned by the official. They were elite personnel personally selected by leaders of various countries. Their main purpose of logging into the game was to analyze the strategy of Age of Empires with the orders of their superiors. With the orders, and their strong psychological quality. Although they were still extremely panicked, they at least would not collapse. But the problem is. Even if the officials of various countries had been prepared. After discovering the mystery of the official website of Age of Empires, they immediately launched a campaign in various countries. Personnel screening work. But time is still too tight. It has been a few days since the officials of various countries discovered the abnormality of the official website of Age of Empires. It will take no more than 3 days before the game is officially opened tonight. In just 3 days. Even if the officials of various countries have the power, they cannot gather enough elite personnel. And in order to ensure the stability of the country, the work of selecting elite personnel by the officials of various countries is still carried out in secret. This makes the number of official elite personnel involved in the development of the Age of Empires game even more scarce. Compared with the huge number of 50 million. The number of official elite personnel seems very limited. Therefore, most of the first batch of new players who came to the continent of the Age of Empires were just ordinary people, and they tend to be heavy game enthusiasts who stay at home. They are used to being pampered on weekdays. At this time, their psychological endurance is not so strong. Quit, I want to quit! Exclamation mark FK. The 99.99% realism. I want to quit! Exclamation mark rubbish. Holographic simulation game. I will never play it again. OAT let me out, let me go. For a while. Under Brian's terrifying momentum. Many players collapsed directly, shouting in panic. Even in a peaceful and prosperous era. Panic can easily spread among the people. What's more, at this moment. A swordsman holding a giant black sword, covered with heavy armor, like the god of death, stood beside these players. The incomparable killing intent enveloped everyone's heart. How could they not panic? So after hearing the call of the people around them. Everyone at the scene remembered that they were players. They had the game system and could log off on their own initiative. The swordsman in front of them was just an NPC in the game. No matter how powerful he was, he could only show it in the game world and could not extend it to the real world. Thinking of this, the faces of the players at the scene suddenly showed a smile of surviving a disaster. Then, everyone called out at the same time. System, log off! Exclamation mark system, I want to quit the game! Exclamation mark system, come out quickly, I want to log off! Exclamation mark where is the system! Exclamation mark question mark system, why haven't you come out yet? Chapter 208. Combat state. For a moment. All the players at the scene, as if they had found a life-saving straw, all rushed to call the system. Brian put too much pressure on them. The only thought in their minds now is to escape. Escape from this damn place. Never come back. However, just when everyone was full of hope, looking forward to the game system appearing and then exiting the game. Suddenly, everyone received a message. Warning. Currently in combat, unable to log off. System prompt. Please find a suitable safe place before reoperating. At the same time, if the player dies in the game world, he will suffer unknown mental trauma. What! Exclamation mark question mark in the F-King combat state, you can't log off. And dying in the game will also cause mental trauma! Exclamation mark are you kidding me! Exclamation mark question mark this is a stupid game. Damn it. Looking at the system prompt that appeared inside. All the players at the scene cursed. They never thought that the omnipotent offline system would lose its effectiveness at this moment. And the reason is that it is currently in combat. How can this be a battle? The difference in strength between the two sides, is it possible to fight? This is clearly a one-sided massacre. In this situation, what other choice do they have besides logging off? The only outcome of staying here is to wait for death. Originally, they logged into the game with great enthusiasm, ready to show their superb gaming talent on the new Empire Era continent, to develop and build a solid and huge territory. But now, What kind of territory are they building? Just after logging on and not experiencing anything, a powerful NPC swordsman pointed at their scalp and told them to surrender. And the most annoying thing is that they can't log off. Can't quit the game. This means that they have to continue to bear this fear. If they are killed, they may become fools in the real world. It's no wonder that the players on the scene curse directly. No matter how good-tempered a person is. When encountering such a thing, they can no longer remain calm. And the most important thing is. At this time. It seems that they are dissatisfied with the noise they made. Brian, who had been staring at them with a fierce look, raised the giant sword in his hand again, and then smashed it down on the ground. Bang! Exclamation mark! Bang! Exclamation mark! Bang! 3 earth-shaking noises were heard. The earth shook, sound and rocks flew. The terrifying shockwave swept the whole place again. The players who were ready to continue to curse were instantly silent. The only thing left in the world was Brian's roar. I'll give you one last chance. Submit. Or die. The voice shook the world, and the scene was suddenly silent. And this time, Brian completely issued a death order. At the moment when he roared. The earth shook violently. Boom. 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 Accompanied by strong tremors. From Valina. A well-equipped and well-mannered elite team walked out quickly. It was Valina's patrol guards. Their individual strength may not be as terrifying as Brian ''S. But the momentum displayed by the army as a whole is even more amazing. It's almost done. Qin Yan floated above the territory, quietly watching the elite guards pouring out of the territory below and instantly surrounding all the players, with a hint of coldness in his eyes. Sure enough, at this moment. Among the players on the ground, a man rushed to Brian and knelt down on the ground. I surrender. I surrender. Do not kill me. Seeing this scene, Qin Yan's mouth curled up slightly. But then, he was stunned again. Because Qin Yan recognized the man's identity. Hey, isn't this the prince? That's right, at this moment. With Brian's ultimatum. Then the player who rushed out from the newly arrived group of players was none other than Wang Gongzi, who was famous in the real world. There is no need to explain what kind of person Wang Gongzi is, right? And at that moment. After seeing Wang Gongzi rushing out in a messy manner and kneeling directly in front of Brian, many players at the scene exclaimed in surprise at the same time. FK. Isn't this Wang Gongzi? Exclamation mark. Wang Gongzi actually chose this area as the birth point. I am so lucky! Exclamation mark. Lucky. Look at his cowardly look. He is just as good as a dog. Sima, you are still kneeling here? Question mark. Hey, stop arguing, stop arguing. Didn't the system just remind you that if you are killed in the game world, you'll suffer mental trauma in the real world? Who would be willing to do this? It is normal for him to show this attitude. Oh, yes, his life is so precious. His father must not want to see his precious son become a fool. Okay, now is not the time to mock. To put it bluntly, we are all cheated by the game company! Exclamation mark. Yes, this damn game company, I don't know when the country will send technicians to rescue us! Exclamation mark. Stop arguing, stop arguing. See the reaction of this NPC swordsman. Hearing the last words of this person. All the players on the scene immediately looked at Brian. After all, they now clearly understand. With the terrifying, money or good, momentum exuded by the swordsman in front of them, who was covered with black heavy armor and holding a heavy giant sword, if they dared to run away, they would definitely be killed on the spot. No one can escape by luck. After all, the difference in strength between the two sides is really hard to describe in words. The only thing they can do is to choose to surrender. And now. The famous prince in the real world took action first. Although his posture made people feel very shameful. But, in order to survive. All the players present looked at Brian with wide eyes. Looking forward to his reaction. If they could really avoid death by surrendering, then they would not hesitate at all. They all surrendered to Brian on the spot. At this time, Prince Wan had already fallen into a state of madness. He knelt in front of Brian and shouted at the top of his lungs. Please. Don't kill me. I'm willing to surrender to you. I will serve you forever. Chapter 209. In front of Qin Yan. Bang. 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 After that, a magnificent building appeared out of thin air in front of Qin Yan. The Weeping Abyss quality. Legend. Basic ability. Devil's Battle. In the Weeping Abyss, all demons can fight each other, and the winner will get corresponding experience. Basic ability. Increase experience. The winning player will get extra rewards. Basic ability. Upgrade. The winner has a certain probability of promotion. Additional ability. Death Battle. Let all demons experience a life and death battle, and the one who survives will become a stronger abyss creature. The divine skill of the chosen one. Material required for construction. 20,000 gold coins, 100 chaos magic crystals. Description. The Weeping Abyss can increase the combat experience of demons, and let them fight to the death in it, and eventually evolve into terrible abyss creatures. Note: let the demons fight, and the hatred in their hearts can only be filled with blood. 6000 combat power, Lava Trap. Quality: Legend. Basic ability: set traps. Can create a mechanism for lava. Basic ability: hidden enhancement. Hidden effect. The hidden effect is excellent, making it impossible for the enemy to detect. Basic ability: Purgatory Flame. Purgatory Fire is attached when spewing lava, and fire attacks are added to enemy targets. Additional effect: Chain Explosion. When a lava mine is triggered, all surrounding lava mines will be triggered, causing a devastating explosion on the target. Additional ability of the Chosen One's Divine Skill. Materials required for manufacturing: 3000 gold, 50 hellfires, 50 chaos magic crystals. Description: the lava trap unique to the demons can produce a huge burning effect on the target, trapping the target and making it unable to escape. Note: lava traps are difficult to avoid in this situation. 6000 combat power, Dark Hall. Quality: legendary. Basic ability: Dark Attack. In the dark, your movement speed will increase by 300%. Basic ability: Shadow Power. When you attack an enemy, you'll cast a dark spell on the opponent, reducing all the opponent's attributes. Basic function: Shadow Rune. Forms a layer of shadow on its surface, allowing it to absorb most attacks. Features: Devil's Faith. Increases all your attributes to 500%. The Chosen One's Divine Skills. Materials required for construction: 50,000 gold, 2,000 hell sulfur, 500 demon crystals. Introduction: this is a special space that allows your subordinates to have more power, but at the same time, you can also have one. Note: something that only the Lord of the Abyss can have is the greatest honor for the devil. 10,000 combat power. This is the most advanced demon technology that Qin Yan has mastered. To be honest, these new buildings are several times more powerful than the basic buildings of the demon clan that Qin Yan had obtained before. Whether it is a fire trap or a demon's domain. It may also be a monster from the abyss. Both are very important. Especially the Black Palace. While giving power to all demons, it also brings 5 times the power to Qin Yan. Qin Yan's various data are not inferior to Clay and the others. Z. Build these buildings. This increased the strength of Qin Yan's demon army by at least 30%. It seems that it is impossible to capture this castle. After closing the construction information bar, Qin Yan breathed a sigh of relief. He is still in the growth stage. He can't exert his full power now. But this is for the future. And now, with the combination of the Empire and reality, a new era has begun. Qin Yan, who controls this hell castle, is the strongest existence of this generation. No one can disobey. But at this moment, a voice sounded in his mind again. Ding dang. Are you sure you want to build the magic crystal arrow tower? Bombardment. He almost forgot about this arrow tower. Hearing this voice, Qin Yan was startled, and then he was overjoyed. The entire underground abyss is under my control. There are endless demon crystal cores in it. I can have as many as I want. Right now. With this thought, Qin Yan immediately gave the order. Boom boom boom. After that. Instantly, the whole world was shaken, and huge explosions sounded. Following that, one majestic magic crystal arrow tower after another rose from the ground. The main body of the arrow tower showed a light purple, like a crystal wrapped in a demon crystal, and at the top of the turret was a piece of abyss magic crystal emitting dazzling light. This magic crystal released extremely strong demon power. He was sure that when his arrow shot at the opponent, the damage caused would be a terrible number. Okay. Qin Yan waved his hand. Qin Yan said, "Now, our plan has been completed!" Congratulations, Master. Clay, Trisna and others also showed their joy. I believe that one day, you will build a castle that no one can defeat. That's the best. No doubt. Clay, Trisna and others are all smart people. This touched Qin Yan's heart. Who doesn't want to see the fortress built by himself become the most famous building in the world? Anyway, Qin Yan was not very excited. Brian. Hansho nodded. After speaking, Qin Yan waved to Brian. During my absence, you can help me guard this castle. Yes, sir! Brian will definitely not let you down. Brian knelt down with a plop, his face full of excitement. Very good. Ragnar nodded. Please get up quickly. Qin Yan said. Then Qin Yan turned his head and looked at Clay, Trisna, and Shorthair. They were all very smart and jumped directly into Qin Yan's arms. My level has reached the intermediate lord. Not only can I open the advanced technology of the higher races, but also the advanced technology of the forest elves. In other words, I can turn the silent forest into an impregnable jungle fortress. With this thought, Qin Yan immediately turned the ring of concentration in his hand. Shwa. A light sound. A golden light lit up. Qin Yan opened his eyes, a gleam of light flashed in his eyes, and then a look of surprise. Greetings, Master. At this moment, a shout rang out from the hall. Qin Yan was in the manner of Valina at this time. At the same time, a crisp voice came. Ding dang. Ding! Exclamation mark. Congratulations, you have unlocked the advanced forest elf technology. Congratulations, you have unlocked the advanced forest elf technology! Exclamation mark. You got the design of ancient guardian square bracket! Exclamation mark. You got a design of windwood! Exclamation mark. You got a design of chimera habitat tree square bracket! Exclamation mark. You got a construction blueprint. Qin Yan listened to the prompts that kept ringing in his mind, and couldn't help showing a touch of joy on his face. When I crack the advanced technology of the forest elves, I can turn this place into a jungle fortress, just like we're in Hellfire Peninsula. The silent forest is located in the center of the entire empire period, with a unique advantage. With this jungle, Qin Yan can completely use this jungle to conquer everything around. If there are other players behind, in Age of Empires, his resurrection point is the silent forest and some places around it. At the time, their lives will be in Qin Yan's hands. Sir, I feel a strong natural force in this jungle. Triasena also came over and said to Qin Yan, with such abundant power of heaven and earth as the foundation, these elves will be able to exert strength far beyond that of ordinary people in the jungle. You guessed right, Trisna. Qin Yan smiled and nodded, then walked out of his territory. But don't worry, this place is still a long way from our peak. After saying that, in an instant, Qin Yan had several more blueprints in his hand. Each blueprint was shining with a faint green light. A fresh smell drifted into his nose, making him feel very comfortable. In addition to being comfortable, but everyone could clearly feel how terrible the power hidden in this blueprint was. From this point, it can be seen how powerful the advanced technology of the forest elves is. Okay. Zykan said lightly. Qin Yan gently turned the ring of the god of hell in his hand. Let's go build a jungle fortress now. Swish. Swish. As soon as these words came out, Qin Yan and his group disappeared from their sight in an instant. The next moment, he appeared in a forest. Greetings, Master. Several little fairies in the forest sensed Qin Yan's presence and appeared one after another. It is undeniable that this is a very scary race. It has only been less than a day. At this time, in the silent jungle, all the elves have been rebuilt. Whether it is the size of the tribe or the things built, it is the same. Moreover, each fusion is much more perfect. If the beast tribe comes again, even Qin Yan doesn't need to do it. There is only one way to die. However, just when Qin Yan was about to take action, a harsh voice suddenly sounded. Alarm. Due to some unknown factors, the duration of Devil's Wrath has been advanced. Alarm. In 6 hours, the Queen of the Night, Qin, will invade your territory. 6 hours. Hearing this news, Qin Yan was also stunned. The time limit of Devil's Wrath is a full 24 hours. But this time, it became 6 hours. What's more, the enemy this time is the Night Demon Queen. In fact, if anyone hears such words, they will be scared to death. But Qin Yan is different. It seems that you want to die. Qin Yan was stunned at first, then he came back to his senses, with a cold light in his eyes, and said, if this matter can be done as soon as possible, I don't mind getting paid. After speaking, Qin Yan exhaled a turbid breath, and then he raised his arms. The next moment, the high-level forest elf design in his hand flew up, and with a dazzling green light flashing, the information of this city appeared in front of Yan. Ancient Guardian quality. Legend. Basic ability. Awakening. Use natural magic to turn a big tree into a huge giant. Basic ability. Throwing stones. Throwing huge stones to cause large-scale damage to nearby enemies. Basic ability. Air combat ability. Guards can attack in the air. Additional ability. Power multiply. With stronger power, their attack distance and damage can be greatly improved. The divine skill of the chosen one. Materials required for manufacturing. 5,000 gold coins, a natural wood, and 50 moonlight essences. Introduction. The Ancient Guardian is a guardian race with powerful attack power. Note. The guard is on the player's territory, like a tower, with extremely strong attack power. 4,000 combat power, ancient windwood quality. Legend. Basic ability. Raptor Druid. Can help you train a powerful flying druid team. Basic ability. Stormcrow. The innate ability of the Raptor Druid can make all creatures around it suffer a certain degree of attack. Basic role. Druid Elder will regularly train a Druid Elder to become an excellent Druid. Additional ability. Tornado. Raptor Druid can learn a more powerful wind magic. The divine skill of the chosen one. Materials required for manufacturing. 10,000 gold, 200 moonlight essences. Introduction. This ancient wind tree can cultivate a powerful Raptor Druid. This is a very rare magic tower. It is a very rare magic tower. Note. Raptor Druid can use natural spells, which can make your team more fishy. 6,000 combat power, Chimera habitat tree quality, legendary. Basic role. Raising Chimera can cultivate a large flying bird with magical abilities. Basic ability. Enhanced attribute. Abundant natural power can make Chimera have stronger basic ability. Basic ability. Corrosive spray. This monster can spray corrosive strong acid. Additional attribute. Splash. Every attack of Chimera will be accompanied by a certain degree of splash damage. Additional ability of the divine skill of the chosen one. Materials required for manufacturing. 10,000 gold, 500 moonlight essences. Description. Chimera is an 8th level bird, a high-level jungle creature. Note. The Chimera Legion is a terrifying existence on the battlefield. 8,000 combat power, this is the real jungle elf. After reading the information of all the buildings, Qin Yan sighed in his heart. Additional attributes. Ancient Tree Demon. There is a chance to evolve into a more powerful Ancient Tree Demon. The divine skill of the chosen one, we can place some tree spirits in the silent forest. Basic ability. Elf revival. As long as there is enough power of heaven and earth, the elves can be resurrected here. When the enemy rushes into the woods. This is the tree spirit that has just transformed. Basic ability. Increase progress. Speed. Up the conversion of tree essence. At the same time, a crisp voice sounded. At this moment, two huge trees in the forest suddenly began to shake. At this moment. A muffled sound. Basic ability. Tree spirit. It can make an ordinary big tree, under the long-term influence of natural forces, become a big tree demon. Boom boom boom. Quality. Legend. These tree people will release countless vines, trap the enemy in it, and strangle it to death. Before the battle, these tree spirits can hide in the woods and blend into the surrounding environment. Before, the design drawings he got from the forest elves, in his opinion, were all the most basic construction. This is the origin of the tree spirit. This is the sound made by the tree spirit when it walks through the woods. Similar to the demon clan. Ding dang. Tower of Nature is completed. After turning off the building attributes, Qin Yan's face was filled with uncontrollable joy. Even the army of the Queen of Night is enough to surprise them. Boom. 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 He remembered it very clearly. After looking through the data of this building, Qin Yan's face immediately became better. This is a natural altar, and it is also that killer of the forest elves. Altar of Nature. This is an 11th level elite force. Description. The natural altar can breed powerful tree demons and can also bring the fairies back to life. It is an extremely rare and precious building. These buildings built by Qin Yan are the most important part of the forest elves. Hearing this, Qin Yan's eyes couldn't help but light up. But now the natural altar that Qin Yan just built can quickly transform the surrounding heaven and earth power into a powerful tree essence. Is this the natural altar? And now material required for construction. 50,000 gold, 1,000 moon essences. The ground shook violently. Chapter 210. The tree demon is very large. Soon, he appeared in front of Qin Yan. What an elite force! Qin Yan couldn't help but marvel at the two huge figures. The tree monster was very large, more than 20 meters tall. And the ancient tree spirit was even more terrifying, more than 30 meters tall, with dense vines all over its body, looking as if it was going to cover the entire sky. Tree essence grade. 11th grade. Evaluation. LV 10 damage. 300 to 400 defense. 600 points. HP. 100,000 mana. 15,000 description. A tree monster with huge size and amazing vitality. Ancient tree spirit grade. 12 grade evaluation. LV 10 damage. 400 to 600 defense. 800 HP. 150,000 mana. 20,000 description. This is a real elite force. So powerful. Qin Yan felt a familiar breath from the two tree demons, and a smile appeared on his face. Let me see your strength. Bang. 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 After saying that, the ground shook violently. Their roots stretched out in all directions as if they had life. Then, several huge roots more than 3 meters thick suddenly emerged from the ground and flew towards the sky. Kakakakakaka. In an instant, the whole world lost its color. The roots and vines were entangled together, and finally formed a death cage in the air. Of course, the premise is that the other party was bound. There is no doubt. He has been torn to pieces. I promoted myself to a middle lord, which is indeed a correct choice. At this time, even Qin Yan was no exception. Everyone's eyes were full of horror. This scene was really shocking. A thick root cover in the sky also flew into the sky at the same time. The sky was dark. You are the night demon queen who feeds on human blood. At this moment, Qin Yan was not afraid, but even more excited. This silent forest is the time for you to fail. Tell the truth. Qin Yan had already thought about it. Without opening the advanced technology of the forest elves, he would let Clay prepare for the attack led by Luminers, or let Brian lead a demon army to support the defense. You know, the opponent is one of the biggest demons in the Zenith Empire. Win this battle. Qin Yan is to expose his territory and expose his trump card. But now as the trump card of the forest elves, the terrible fighting power shown by those ancient tree demons gave Qin Yan a sense of confidence. We only need one person to compete with the Night Demon Queen. There is no need for a demon army. As for the Black Dragon Queen Clay, she did not make any moves. Those ancient tree demons hidden in the silent jungle can easily defeat the Night Demon Queen. Next, Qin Yan only needs to wait for the result of this battle. And you can also get a reward for a main quest. After conquering the forest elves, I did another SSS level main storyline and obtained a unique essence. The god of nature Trishana used to be an elf queen, but now she has become a powerful woman. However, after being blessed by the power of nature, she has become a god of nature. This is the real power of God. This made Qin Yan excited. After killing Luminers, he can win in the world plot of Devil's Wrath. What kind of reward will he get? On the other side. In the western region of the Zenith Empire, in a palace called Twilight Rose, a beautiful little girl in a black dress sat on the throne, her long and beautiful feet swaying in boredom. Luminers, Queen of the Night. Level: Legendary Boss. Race: Blood Clan. Cody name: Queen of the Night. Rank: Level 14. Lord level. Monster evaluation: Unknown attributes: Unknown. Qualifications: Unknown. Skills: Unknown. Description: Although she was blasted out of the Night Rose Palace by the Storm Dragon Volutera, as our demon lord, Luminous has never stopped her ambition to conquer the entire world. The death of Count Dracula and the occupation of the Blood Clan's castle made the Luna group very angry. A mere human wants to kill my servant. Luminous seemed to sense something and frowned. I will let you taste the Devil's Wrath, and then deal with Volutera. Shwa. A light sound. After saying that, Lumina's body shook and turned into a bloody after image, and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Bang. 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 Then the entire Night Rose Palace was shaking violently. Immediately afterwards, countless terrifying blood clans rushed out. Qin Yan arranged the construction of the forest fortress and went offline directly. Her. A voice sounded. Qin Yan took off his helmet and let out a long sigh. It was noon. But he didn't feel very hungry. Then have a hamburger. After saying that, Qin Yan took out his phone and ordered a meal. Moreover, he specifically reminded him to add more. Although Qin Yan didn't like sour food, he was still very interested in tomato sauce. Maybe it's because I haven't eaten in a welfare home since I was a child. Qin Yan smiled bitterly and was checking the news every day. Clicking on the Age of Empires column, a message popped up. This is the earliest VR game in history. Age of Empires is waiting for you! This is a game with a 99.99% degree of realism, and it is also full of unparalleled opportunities! This is not just a game, it is simply another world! Enter Age of Empires. There are many opportunities. This promotion is really getting bigger and bigger. Seeing these advertisements, Qin Yan's face also became ugly. If you remembered correctly, Age of Empires was launched for more than 2 months. But this time, it caused quite a stir. Maybe it's because I entered the Empire period earlier. Qin Yan leaned back in his chair and rubbed his eyebrows. Perhaps, some things have been changed by this world. This is not a good thing. If the popularity of this game increases, more and more players will buy it. If Age of Empires is really as the internet says, then the world will really be popular. It's okay. All major websites are full of curses. Virtual reality? Haha. Nowadays, scammers will only play this kind of trick. If it is really that realistic, I will just swallow my computer. Why a virtual helmet worth hundreds of thousands? What the hell? Are you so stupid to make money from web games these days? Go. Most people are complaining crazily. However, there are also some objective comments. If this is true, the government should fully support it. Is it necessary to do so? To be honest, I'm a senior player, but I still can't afford to spend 100,000 RMB to prove the authenticity of this game. I agree. I'm indeed very interested, but I think we should wait until these rich people confirm the authenticity of this game before placing an order. This is an era of universal games. Qin Yan sighed secretly while looking at the messages on the internet. Yes. The game Age of Empires has been a sensation. No one buys it now. One is because it is too expensive, not something that ordinary people can afford, or rich people don't want to spend more money on it. But such promotion continues. As mentioned above. Of course, there are also many local tyrants who want to be the first to experience it. After all, it is only 100,000 yuan, an ordinary means of transportation, not even as good as a villa. For those old players with good family conditions, 100,000 yuan is not a big problem. Ordinary players need at least 300,000 or 500,000 yuan to buy a high-end game console. For those who are richer, a set costs 700,000 or 800,000 yuan, not including other accessories. In short, this is not an outrageous number. Not to mention this game. Qin Yan closed his eyes. Besides, he naturally attracts a lot of people's attention. But generally speaking, Qin Yan was also mentally prepared for a large number of people to come. And now, he can turn his title into his identity. Once online games become popular, Qin Yan will immediately become an NPC. In this way, I won't be discovered. Thinking of this, Qin Yan opened his eyes again, looking relaxed. Besides, I can continue to develop my own territory. After the voice fell, Qin Yan looked at the mobile phone again, wanting to see when the express delivery would arrive. But the next second, his face became ugly. Illegal deletion. Did you get 404? Yes. Just as he closed his eyes to rest, Qin Yan saw a message that read, "The web page you are browsing is not registered or suspected of illegal entry." At this moment, Qin Yan felt that all the hairs on his body stood up. This site was blocked, and it was obvious that something caught his attention. However, from the inspection just now, there was nothing wrong. Qin Yan couldn't help but think, could it be that the advertisement of Age of Empires was interfered with? Otherwise, how should he explain that he saw an article, but it was suddenly judged as illegal? And at this moment, because it has not been used for a long time, the screen returned to the home page and started to update. However, this time, he saw another message about Age of Empires. And the content of this message is the same as before. This time, Qin Yan was really shocked. Maybe the technical masters know about it and want to block it. After a long while, Qin Yan spoke again. But one thing is certain. The game Age of Empires can integrate the whole world into it, and its influence is so great that it has exceeded the technical scope of the Earth. Isn't the continent at the time another world? At this moment, Qin Yan was more certain of his guess. This game helmet is only used temporarily for transmission. Hey, I know what you were doing. Just at this time, the door was knocked. This is why Qin Yan was scared. Thank you. Qin Yan thanked her. Qin Yan didn't think much, and stuck the hamburger into his mouth directly, and then put his game helmet on his face again. But what he didn't know was almost at the moment when he put on the game helmet, a faint purple light lit up from the room. A stream of light flashed. The 2 bags of unopened tomato sauce on the table disappeared. But a golden light lit up. Qin Yan appeared again in the city lord's mansion. However, at this moment, a harsh voice came. Alarm. Luminaries will launch an attack in an hour, please prepare for defense! Half an hour. Qin Yan couldn't help but be stunned when he heard Yuan Lingtian's words, so fast. 6 hours have passed since the last reminder. He arranged one high-level building after another in just over an hour. Similarly, in this game, it is also 1-to-1. Including Qin Yan's mealtime, it is at most more than 2 hours. However, a 1-hour countdown appeared in his mind. The only thing worth mentioning is the Night Demon Queen. He wished that he could drain all of Qin Yan's blood immediately. Qin Yan couldn't help but marvel at the prosperous scene. Master! He shouted. Swoosh! Whoosh! Whoosh! For vampires, the oppression of bloodline is very great. Under Qin Yan's gaze, Trisna immediately knelt on the ground. Trishanna will never allow any enemy to approach you. Supreme Being. A group of elf women dressed in maid's clothes swore allegiance to Qin Yan. We're willing to turn into sharp swords and kill the enemy for the sake of heaven and man. Bang. Bang. Clay was more straightforward. A powerful black force burst out from her body and spun around her. Clay, who awakened the Dragon Princess, can be said to have both magic and physical abilities. Not only does she have an almost invincible body, she can also mobilize a dark force that is so powerful that it is terrifying. Even the Night Demon King is no exception. That's why he is so angry. Yeah. Qin Yan responded. Hearing Juan Lingtian's words, Qin Yan nodded with satisfaction and said, I'm relieved. Okay, let's go and see the construction of the fortress first. The young woman of the elf clan, carrying a bow and holding a scimitar, sat on a flexible horned eagle, forming a deadly circle of fire. Even if the other party is the powerful Night Demon Queen, they will feel pain for what they have experienced in the Silent Forest. Let me see what kind of strength this former Night Demon Queen has. In the future development, he can also have a perfect plan. In the Silent Jungle, a golden light shone. According to Qin Yan's understanding, Juan Lingtian is very powerful. Fighting a demon king from that continent during the Empire period also gave Qin Yan a better understanding of the power structure of this world. Soon after, several more people appeared, Qin Yan and the others. As long as Shulter, the ancestor of the vampire clan, reveals her bloodline of power, she can easily suppress the other beggar. After saying that, Qin Yan stood up from the throne and looked at Clay, Shulter, Trisna and others. Even if the Night Demon King breaks through our defense, we can't do whatever we want here. The raptor druid hid in the shadow of the woods, and a devastating storm was launched at once. On the contrary, he was a little excited. This is the power of the elves. And the chimera flew over the forest, and once it found anything abnormal, it would immediately spray corrosive liquid. In addition, there are those ancient tree spirits hidden in the forest. If Luminous' bloodline is slightly worse than Shulter's, it would be even better. Qin Yan was naturally not afraid. This is the legendary jungle elf. I don't know if this newly built fortress can stop the Night Demon Queen. No matter what, Clay and the others will protect us. The agile female hunter, riding a claw druid, patrolled back and forth in the forest. At this time, Qin Yan seemed to remember something. He walked to Shulter and asked, the queen of the Night Demon clan is also a vampire. Are you sure you can control her bloodline? In the sky. There is no need to really do it. On the other side. Shulter. In addition, if anyone dares to enter the Silent Forest, he will probably be torn to pieces before he walks far. After saying that, Qin Yan and the others left directly. Chapter 211. So that's it, my lord, the blood in my body is supreme among all vampires. Shulter heard the hidden meaning in Qin Yan's words. The origin blood of my race comes from the origin blood of the Changhe River. The more powerful the existence, the more perfect the power of the law it controls, but that is only an ability, not real strength. I see. Qin Yan continued. In other words, the power of blood only determines a person's level and potential, and his real combat power depends on his growth. Yes, sir. Shulter nodded. Although her blood is not as good as mine, it does not mean that she is strong in battle. Hearing Juan Lingtian's words, Qin Yan suddenly realized. In short, this is a connection. These two powers are both manifestations of strength, but they cannot be measured by any one of them. Therefore, this war is still necessary. However, this is also the result Qin Yan wants. Master. He called out. However, at this moment, Shulter's face was flushed, and a pair of small bat wings fluttered. You smell good. What? Very good. Trisna, Clay. Hearing this, Qin Yan was a little embarrassed. Do I have a special smell? Qin Yan thought for a while and said. Clay touched her head, with an innocent look. I think you have a very special smell. Master. He called out. Trisna also came over. I don't know what this is, I just feel a little sour. What the hell, what's going on? Have I turned into a pickled fish? Eat too much or too little? Hearing this, Qin Yan's face darkened. It was embarrassing enough to let his subordinate smell his own taste, and now there is such a sentence, which makes people speechless. Wait. My master is delicious, very delicious. But at this time, Shulter had rushed to Qin Yan and hugged him. She sniffed deeply. It was like smelling a delicious food. Qin Yan was stunned for a moment. But at this moment, the black gem on his finger suddenly trembled violently. Then, a black mist spread. But when Qin Yan saw the black mist, he immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. Is this tomato sauce? I didn't expect you to have such a delicacy! Shulter, calm down. Trisna said. Clay. This is Master's, you are holding it alone. Apologize to Master quickly. There was a lot of noise around, but Qin Yan turned a deaf ear. He looked at Shulter silently. She was drinking tomato sauce in big gulps. Her eyes gradually became blurred. He even doubted his life, or the whole story. The so-called tomato sauce is actually a kind of life. There was only a hamburger and a tomato sauce at noon. And now, there is tomato sauce in Age of Empires. So, these things are with me. Qin Yan felt a chill when he thought of this. In the last life, he died and resurrected, came to the Empire, and established a vast land. However, what Qin Yan never expected was that this time, such a thing would happen. When Zenith and Azeroth had not yet been fully integrated into this world, these things that originally existed only in reality actually came to this world with Sunfate. This is too incredible. Right. He suddenly remembered something. Qin Yan suddenly realized. I remember, aren't these tomato sauces in the Hell Ring? Qin Yan did not hesitate and directly opened the information column of the Pluto ring. She looked at the information of this Pluto city in detail. This is talent. However, Qin Yan noticed something was wrong. Under the additional ability of the Pluto ring bottomless bag, there was an extra line of words. Cooldown. 23 minutes, 55 minutes and 14 seconds. So, when I was offline to eat, the magic pocket ability would take the two tomato sauces on the H side of the table. Qin Yan took a look and immediately understood. Then, the CD of this ability is 24 hours, which means that I can only bring one item into this Empire continent every day. So cool. At first, Qin Yan thought that this newly acquired magic bag was the same as the main world owned by other players, and there was not much difference. But from the current point of view, this is completely incomparable. At this time, Qin Yan was carrying a bag of tomato sauce. But what will happen in the future? There are food, equipment, and weapons. If these items that only exist in reality are brought into the Empire, what changes will occur? Qin Yan's heart was also extremely excited. At the same time, Qin Yan also realized something. Even Shulcher, the true ancestor of the Blood Clan, is so obsessed with tomato sauce. Could it be that Luminous, a woman who is also a vampire, would have similar feelings? His eyes swept over the few bags of tomato sauce left in the magic bag. A bold idea popped up in Qin Yan's mind. Alert! Your temporary base in the Blood Clan fortress is now occupied by Lady Luminous. But at this moment, a harsh voice sounded. Is this the Dark Swamp? Hearing this, Qin Yan frowned. Back in the Dark Swamp, he already knew the news of the Dark Gate, so he did not arrange for his men to stay behind. She led the team to the gate to the abyss. Because at the time, Qin Yan himself did not know how big is the risk of this underground abyss trip. That's why he came out in full force. Brian and others drank the devil's blood and all mutated, so Qin Yan left them here. He planned to return to his own territory, build a jungle fortress to resist the attack of the Queen of the Night, and then send a troop to the Blood Clan's castle. This is why the system determined this time as temporary. Now we have arrived at the Dark Swamp and recaptured the Blood Clan castle. At this time, Qin Yan had come back to his senses and said, so, my idea will be confirmed soon. As soon as the voice fell, Qin Yan put the only small bag of tomato juice in his hand into his demon pocket. Then, he opened the Ring of Hell and came to the territory of the elves, ready for battle. On the other side, in the dark swamp west of the Silent Forest, Qin Yan led the army to capture a Blood Clan castle. The entire castle was quiet, and there was no sound at 10:00 clock. But at this moment, a little girl in a black dress walked out of the quiet Blood Clan castle. It was none other than Luminous. How dare you kill my servants and steal my treasures? Luminous was holding a beautiful box, which was engraved with blood-red patterns and had nothing inside. I can't believe that a tiny human race could do such a thing. O's feeling the cold murderous aura of Luminous. Shrill screams came from the shadows around the castle. Then more than a dozen huge monsters with ferocious faces rushed out of the darkness. These monsters are all Luminous's pets. Creatures. She used her own blood to tame her own family from another world. These creatures are all kinds of strange and have various abilities. But one thing is beyond doubt. Even the weakest monster can destroy an area in an instant. Besides, in midair, Luminous stepped forward step by step, and the area around her body had become pitch black. It was a black cloud that covered the sky. However, if you look closely, you will find that the black cloud is actually a dense mass of vampire bats. Each of these vampire bats has sharp teeth. Several flying monsters were unable to dodge and were directly swept into the black cloud. Then there was a terrifying skeleton. In front of him, everything lost its color. Humble human, you have the ability to kill Dracula and take away what I have, which means you have been ready to fight me on the ground. Luminous was already irritated by her laughter. Then, you just wait to accept the fate of the great devil! Shwa. A light sound. After saying that, her figure flashed and she disappeared completely. Woo amid the roar, the monster with a vicious face also ran. The sky full of vampire bats was rushing towards this side at a very fast speed. The target was the Silent Forest. In the Silent Woods. Qin Yan was also the last inspection before the war. At the same time. Qin A harsh voice came to Yan's ears. Alarm! Luminous will launch an attack in 10 minutes. Please prepare for defense! Woo! A low voice sounded. And with the appearance of this voice, the sound of war also sounded. In a moment. All the buildings were shrouded in a dark red halo. It was a color like blood, which made people's hearts beat faster to glance. Dangerous state? Qin. Seeing this, Yan frowned slightly. Generally speaking. When an enemy invades, his territory will be in a defensive state. Unless they encounter a strong enemy, they will enter a dangerous state. In the crisis mode, they don't even have to wait for the city lord's castle to be destroyed, but when their territory is destroyed by more than 30%, or a player chooses to quit, it will be judged as a siege failure. And now. When the Night Demon Queen's army arrived, Valina was ready for battle. From this point, we can see how strong the Night Demon Queen is. Indeed. The next second, another crisp voice sounded. Alarm! The Night Demon Queen's army is found to be attacking, and your territory is already in a dangerous state! In the dangerous state, your every move will have a great negative effect on your subordinates, and your subordinates are likely to have a decrease in loyalty to you, so you must be prepared. If the emergency state is turned on, that would be terrible. At this moment. Everyone was in panic. If one person makes a mistake or is a coward, his subordinates are likely to abandon their territory and flee. However, none of this has anything to do with Qin Yan. The people of Valina are loyal to Qin Yan. They will not flee as long as Qin Yan does not leave. I remember that when in danger mode, all the data of the building will be strengthened to a certain extent. In Qin Yan's opinion, this is impossible. This is fine. Roar! Lady Lin shouted. However, at this moment, a thunderous roar came from the direction of the dark swamp. Then, a large number of vampire bats formed a huge black cloud, slowly approaching Valina with endless pressure. The Queen of Night Demons is indeed worthy of her reputation. Qin Yan couldn't help but sigh when he saw this. Not to mention the behemoth hidden in the dark. There are so many vampire bats that even a city will be razed to the ground in an instant. I think we should wait for them to fly higher so that they can attack us. Qin Yan said in a low voice while calculating the altitude of this area. Master! He called out. Shorthair walked to Qin Yan's side, patted her chest and said, Leave it to me. Shorthair can completely use her blood power to suppress it. Are you so confident? Okay. Moen nodded. Qin Yan did not stop him. Shorthair, it's your turn to show it. After all, Shorthair is the ancestor of vampires. Her power may not be as strong as Lumina's, but it is more than enough to suppress those ordinary vampires. Wait until Shorthair releases her blood power and forces these vampire bats to fly higher, then these listed guardians can attack them. With this thought, Qin Yan couldn't help but sigh. It is so exciting to have a subordinate like the vampire progenitor. Squeak! A sharp voice sounded. At this moment, the large group of vampire bats finally reached the top of the silent jungle. The harsh sound made people irritated. However, at this moment, Shorthair suddenly made a move. Boom! Whoosh! The bat wings behind Shorthair spread out, and the whole person soared into the sky. At the same time, a blood-red light appeared on her palm. These lights gathered on her palm and finally turned into a blood-red ball of light. In the blood light, there are extremely terrifying energy fluctuations. All the vampire bats in the air felt this and trembled. This is the power from his own body. For the blood clan ancestor Shorthair, even her subordinates have only one thought. Head, that is, to surrender to Shorthair. However, Shorthair had no intention of letting them surrender. Kill! Bastard! After saying that, the red light ball in Shorthair's hand suddenly flew into the sky. In the blink of an eye, it appeared above all the vampire bats. The next moment, it exploded. Bang! 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 An astonishing blood and ki force burst out from the blood-colored light ball. It spread out layer by layer. All the vampire bats were blown into a ball of blood mist under this blow. Finally, it turned into a bloody rain. These bloody rains had a pungent smell and a strong corrosive effect. But fortunately, under the natural barrier. All the bloody rains were completely purified the moment they touched this power. This is the power of heaven and earth. After killing a large number of vampire bats, Shorthair also fell behind Qin Yan. Good job, Shorthair. Thank you for your compliment, sir. Qin Yan praised Shorthair, and then cast his sights to a deeper level of the dark swamp. He felt it. An extremely terrifying existence is awakening. It is a momentum that is superior to the Black Dragon Queen Clade. There is no doubt that she is Lumina's. Stinky bitch. The next second, a blood-red figure flew out of the darkness. The ancestor of the blood clan actually surrendered to a human, which is simply an insult to us. An angry voice sounded. Then, Luminous came out in a black dress. The legendary Demon King is just a little girl. Seeing this person's appearance, Qin Yan couldn't help but be stunned. Then, he shook his head vigorously. I didn't expect that under the appearance of this little girl, there is actually a 1000-year-old monster. How dare you call me a monster? Above the silent forest, Luminous was so angry that her face turned blue and she heard Qin Yan's words. Chapter 212. The voice ends. You forgot one thing, master. Shorthair's wings flapped violently, and the whole person flew into the sky. Not only is she old, but she also has flat breasts. As she said this, Shorthair slightly raised her chest. Not only are you old, but you also have big breasts. Shorthair, floating in the air, had a hint of anger in her voice. After the voice fell, the whole audience was silent. Even Qin Yan was no exception. No one expected that Shorthair would say such a sentence. Even Luminous might be the same. He never thought that he would be insulted like this. And the most made everyone laugh out loud. As she said this, Shorthair raised her chest. And at this moment, Road was also slightly stunned. In the sky, Luminous blushed and said angrily, "You traitor!" Flat-chested. A voice came from behind. "You are insulting the dignity of our blood race!" Flat-chested. A voice came from behind. "You really disgraced our blood race!" Flat-chested. A voice came from behind. The two quarreled in the air. Qin Yan could clearly see that Luminous's face turned from red to purple, from blue to blue, then from blue to blue, and then from black to sun. I'll fight you. Finally, Luminous screamed angrily. "I'm not afraid of you." So did Shorthair Luminous. Seeing that the two were about to fight, Qin Yan hurried over. "Where did you hear that?" Luminous was startled when she heard this, and then reacted. "A mere human is worthy of calling me the Queen of the Night!" Not just you. Qin Yan ignored her last part and continued. "I also heard that you established an organization called Western St. Church to protect the human race, but in fact, your real goal is just to get food. But I have something better, if you like it." Later, Qin Yan said again. Qin Yan said, then he untied his devil's pocket and took out tomato juice 29 from it. Yes, that was Qin Yan's idea. After seeing Shorthair's obsession with tomato sauce, I especially prepared some more, just to wait for Luminous, the vampire, to come over, and then fight with her, and then use tomato sauce to lure her to join his team. You know, this Luminous is a well-known demon in the whole world. Although not as strong as the storm dragon Voltura, he is also a good opponent. But in the whole continent, he is at the top. If you can use some tomato sauce that can be found everywhere in reality to ease the relationship between the two, let the two become friends, or take the other party into your own territory. So, what did Qin Yan get? This is much better than a war. What about the Western Church? How can I know what protection is? But Qin Yan never expected that Luminous heard this in mid-air and sneered. "You humans, the purpose of living is to be food for us vampires. Little rascal, don't try this." Luminous stared at Qin Yan angrily, and then roared at Shorthair opposite. "You vampires are really saving our vampire's face. I won't let you go, come on. Be honest." So, another quarrel began. Wait, I remember it very clearly. On the ground, Qin Yan asked in confusion. "Luminous, she was once a vampire, and founded an organization called the Western Church. Her followers regarded her as a goddess, but in fact, her real purpose was to eat her food. There is no doubt about this. But judging from that conversation just now. But Qin Yan can be sure that he has never heard of the Western Holy Church. No way. Is it too early for Luminous to establish the Western Holy Church? And at this moment, Qin Yan suddenly came to his senses. In the previous life, Luminous's true identity was discovered through the game system. However, this is all in the future. After that incident, just over a month later, the continent called Empire has appeared in this world. In other words, Luminous has not even established the Western St. Church. Luminous. Qin Yan sorted out his thoughts and asked, "Aren't you going to take revenge on Storm Dragon Voltura?" You Luminous was immediately furious when Qin Yan called her like that, but she quickly changed her mind. "How did you find out?" Even your Night Rose Palace was blown away by Storm Dragon Voltura, and you just let it go. Qin Yan looked at Yuan Lingtine and said, "As long as you don't mind, the two of us can join forces. Just consider it as compensation for me killing your men." After a pause, Qin Yan looked over. "How is it?" Qin Yan looked at Luminous without saying anything, and he was not worried. He could clearly feel that Lumina's eyes were flashing with a subtle joy. Although the flash of joy was fleeting, it did not escape Qin Yan's eyes. In other words, these words touched Lumina's heart. So it is not impossible to subdue Luminous. You are not an ordinary person. Suddenly, Lumina's heart moved. Who are you? Senior Qin Yan, you are my master. Qin Yan was about to speak, but Shorthair had already run in front of him and straightened his back. If you were as old as me, then you can be Mr. Qin Yan's subordinate with me! Adults can help us grow. At this point, Shorthair pointed to a group of elves including Clay and Trisna, and said proudly, "Look, how old are we? Don't you look in the mirror?" Shorthair didn't say anything more, just looked at Luminous silently, as if wanting to see what she would do next. Ahem. Qin Yan coughed. Qin Yan's face rarely blushed. Luminous, you misunderstood. The reason I cooperated with you is that I had some grievances with the Storm Dragon Vidra. Qin Yan said the excuse she had prepared long ago. It's a pity that the man is too strong, and I can't do anything to him. Enough. At this moment, a voice sounded. However, Qin Yan was interrupted by Luminous before he finished speaking. You don't need to explain. I know. After speaking. An amazing scene happened. Okay, stop talking. Luminous interrupted Qin Yan's words, and then imitated Shorthair, stretched out a slender finger, and pointed at Clay, Trisna and other little fairies. I want to become smaller. As she said, Luminous waved her hand, and an invisible force surged up. In an instant, more than a dozen huge monsters hidden in the dark swamp, along with the formation they formed, turned into blood and returned to her body. Then let's go. Then, Luminous walked up to Qin Yan again, looking at her expectantly, as if she would not leave unless Qin Yan let her grow up. Okay, that's about right. Seeing this, Shorthair smiled. Then I'll leave it to you. What are you looking at? Qin Yan was about to retort, but found that everyone's eyes were attracted by Shorthair, and they all looked at him with an expectant look, while Clay had a natural expression on her face. Gong. Dong Bozuang swallowed his saliva. Qin Yan swallowed his saliva, and he was doomed. The impression of this great devil could not be washed away completely. In this case, then, Qin Yan added, I can help you grow up, but you have to be my maid like them. Finished. Qin Yan's heart beat instantly. That was a demon that made the whole continent tremble. And now, he actually wanted to take her as a maid. Isn't this the greatest man in 1,000 years? However, Qin Yan could never have thought of it. As soon as he finished speaking, Luminous nodded. If I can grow up, I'm willing to do anything for you. Puff. There was a loud bang. How flat is she? How can I feel this way? This scene also made Qin Yan think of a question he had seen on Boo before. Question. How soft is a girl's vagina? How does it feel? I thought the question was about a boy. Damn, this is probably the saddest question this year. But when I saw that the question was about a girl, damn, this is the saddest question this year. However, these are all unnecessary. At this moment, although Qin Yan was cursing in his heart, he was very happy in his heart. If he could take Luminous, the top demon king in the whole continent, as his maid, it would not only bring him a great sense of accomplishment, but also enable him to expand his territory in the future and collect information from the entire empire period, which would bring unimaginable benefits. This feeling is really great. At this time, Luminous just nodded. A crisp voice came from Qin Yan's mind. Ding dang. Welcome to Qin Yan in the game. Luminous, the Queen of the Night, has applied to become a member of your territory. Are you sure you want to join? Ding dang. Because Luminous is applied to become your vassal, you don't have to worry about her rebellion. You can control the Blood Clan army under her. Hearing this voice, Qin Yan just felt comfortable all over. This is just like the forest elf he caught at the beginning. If you say there is a good impression, then there is a difference. In the face of huge interests, the power of the alliance is so fragile. However, since Luminous joined Vailina, she has never been in such a situation again. No matter what she does, it will revolve around Qin Yan. The Blood Clan army under his command is even under the control of Qin Yan. Except Ragnar nodded. Qin Yan nodded without hesitation. Swish. 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 Qin Yan just nodded, and there was another uproar. A dazzling golden light emanated from Luminous. A golden light flashed, and the contract was reached. At this time, Luminous, the great demon who once stood at the top of the world, has been conquered by Qin Yan. Welcome to my territory, Luminous. Qin Yan saw this, his face was happy, and said, I am Qin Yan, your master. But the next moment, he was stunned. Qin Yan discovered that the golden light on Lumina's body had changed slightly. And the first place to change seemed to be the chest. At this moment, a crisp voice suddenly came from his mind. Ding dang. Luminas, you have signed a contract with Luminas, you have completed her transformation and become the ancestor of the Blood Clan. Ding dang. Congratulations to the player Qin Yan, your subordinate Luminas has completed the full awakening of the power of the vampire ancestor. This is definitely the magic skill of the Chosen One. Hearing this, Qin Yan couldn't help but sigh. In fact, he didn't expect that after signing a contract with Luminas, she would wake up and advance again. And with the surge of golden light, her originally flat chest bulged up instantly. The number was jaw-dropping. Originally, Luminas's skirt was a tight-fitting style, and she thought it was suitable before, but this time, it's so big. It's bigger again. Luminas didn't care so much, she yelled excitedly and rushed towards Qin Yan. Qin Yan took a breath and felt that he was about to suffocate. But now, he can be assured. Yes, this is the fact. Now, you're happy, Luminas. After saying that, Qin Yan rubbed his nose. Oh, I have something here, which is my gift to you. After saying that, they opened their own abyss magic bags. As he said that, he took out the tomato sauce in 753's hand, peeled it, and smeared it on his fingers. What? I don't like it very much either, but I like it very much. Luminas waved her hand proudly, and just as she was about to speak, her movement suddenly froze. In a moment, a trace of warmth emanated from Qin Yan's fingers. Lumina's mouth was unclear, but she still sucked slowly until she ate all the tomato juice on Qin Yan's fingers. She exclaimed, I didn't expect that there would be such delicious food in this world. Short hair. Qin Yan smiled and walked towards short hair, wiped his finger on it, and said, let's go to the Lord's castle and enjoy it. Swoosh. A golden light flashed, and the figures of the three people disappeared from their original place in an instant. On the other side, in the Lord's palace. A voice sounded. Qin Yan was leaning on the throne, looking relaxed and contented. After all, they had returned to the Lord's castle. Qin Yan had more than one layer of tomato sauce on his fingers. After an unknown amount of time, a crisp voice was heard. Ding dang. The rewards for Devil's Wrath have been distributed. Congratulations on getting a legendary forest elf designed Well of Eternity. An epic architectural design of a forest elf. Accompanied by a prompt, Qin Yan directly opened his territory. Sure enough, a building design emitting a faint green light was quietly placed there. Before touching it, Qin Yan had already felt an extremely strong power of heaven and earth emanating from this mat. This strong power of heaven and earth gives people a sense of relaxation and comfort. The feeling is like sitting on an air conditioner in the summer. That feeling makes people feel relaxed and happy. Not only that, Qin Yan also felt a strong magic power. From this point, it can be seen that this design is extraordinary. At this time, Qin Yan's eyes had already shown the information of the design. Well of Immortality quality. Legend. Basic ability. Dark drainage. Able to continuously absorb the dark power of the entire continent. Basic function. Natural spring. Able to transform the surrounding dark power into pure natural power to heal surrounding enemies and creatures. Its basic function. Source of magic power. In addition to providing magic power to surrounding enemies, it also releases a large amount of magic power to bring a large amount of magic power to surrounding allies. Basic ability. Magic power surge. Releases magic power and causes huge magic power damage to people around. Additional ability. Large area. The range of this well is very large, and it can even include a city. Additional ability of the divine skill of the Chosen One. Materials required for construction. 100,000 gold coins, 100,000 wood, 100,000 minerals, and 8 eternal gems. Introduction. The Well of Eternity can enhance the power of all surrounding allies, including health, magic power, as well as very powerful amplification. This is an epic building of that forest elves, but to build it, a large number of eternal gems are needed. Chapter 213. As for humans, what an epic building. Qin Yan took a look and smiled. From the beginning, he knew that the strongest point of the forest elves was their resilience. As for humans, it was provided by the Tree of Life. In terms of the army, their strength is also very strong. In terms of supplies and territory, they have to eat moonlight every day, and their territory is covered by a powerful natural barrier. In addition, the design of the Well of Eternity in Qin Yan's hand brings an all-round improvement to their life and magic. They have endless breath of life and endless magic. This is their power. Wait. After turning off the design, Qin Yan said confidently, The defense of the entire jungle fortress will be greatly improved again. However, there is one thing that must be said. This is one of the things needed to make the Well of Eternity. Qin Yan has never heard of this. In his previous life, Qin Yan once conquered a forest elf, but at the time, he only got some simple forest elf design drawings, which could not open their advanced technology at all. This is simply unheard of. However, Qin Yan was not panicked at all. He didn't know where to look for it, but Trisna, as a god of nature, must know some information about it. Magic. But at this moment, Luminous seemed to feel something. She looked up at the design of Well of Eternity in Qin Yan's hand, and suddenly, her eyes widened. Oh? Ragnar was stunned. Luminous, it seems that you know something about the Well of Eternity. Seeing Luminous's surprised expression, Qin Yan also showed a touch of joy on his face, and at the same time he couldn't help but sigh. It's so cool to have a famous big devil as a maid. Not to mention Luminous's terrifying power. It's because she already had a huge information network during the Imperial period, and she knew everything about the whole world. This thing is also extremely precious to Qin Yan. Reply to the master. He responded respectfully. Lumina's attitude towards Qin Yan also changed completely. She called respectfully and then began to explain to Qin Yan. Okay, what I have to do now is to build the Well of Eternity. Qin Yan nodded with satisfaction, and then shrugged. However, we still lack some building materials for the building. My lord, are you talking about the Eternal Stone? As soon as Qin Yan finished speaking, Luminous's pointed ears moved, and she grinned. I have a few. Swish. Swish. After speaking, a flash of blood flashed. Then, several emerald green gems appeared on Lumina's palm. Immortal stone function. Possess endless natural power and magic. Description. An essential item for making the Well of Eternity. That is the Stone of Eternity. 1, 2, 3, 7. Qin Yan calculated carefully, and couldn't help but smile. It takes 8 pieces to make a Well of Eternity, which means that as long as I find one, I can get all the materials. For a moment, Qin Yan felt refreshed. Qin Yan thought Luminous would give him some information about the Stone of Eternity, but he didn't expect Luminous to give him 7 pieces at once. This feeling is really great. Luminous, thank you. He reached out and rubbed Luminous' head. She leaned on his arm very cutely. You stay here with short hair. I have something to say to Trisna. Yes, master. Whoosh. Qin Yan's body disappeared from the spot in an instant. The next moment, he stood in front of Trisna. Master. He shouted. But unexpectedly, Trisna seemed to have noticed his arrival long ago. After seeing Qin Yan, she immediately came up to him. It is the honor of our forest elves to be your servant. Qin Yan comforted Trisna, and then he took out the 7 eternal stones that Luminous gave him. Trisna, do you know where to find the eternal stone? Ms. Qin Yan, you are really amazing. You can make the legendary Night Demon Queen personally send such a treasure. Trisna did not hide her admiration for Qin Yan. After that, she took the immortal crystals from Qin Yan's hand and took them from Qin Feng's hand. And at this moment, something strange happened. Whoosh. 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 A turquoise light suddenly appeared on the palm of Trisna holding the eternal stone, and then a powerful natural force gushed out from her palm powered by the power of nature. 7 life crystals were suspended in the air. Like little elves, they were flying in the air, flashing turquoise light. The 7 eternal crystals were like a magic circle, suspended around the stone peak. However, this magic circle seemed incomplete. However, all the natural forces were attracted to the air, and then gathered into a pure blue light ball in the air. The next second, a dazzling green light rushed straight into the sky from the light ball. Then it rushed straight to the east of the silent forest. Ding! Your subordinate Trisna has found the coordinates of the immortal stone. A crisp voice sounded. And on the Lord interface, there was a map. A dazzling green light lit up from a misty mountain range east of the silent forest. That was the eternal stone. Master. He called out. Trisna also removed the magic circle in the air, and she reported to Qin Yan. There is another eternal stone hidden in this area. Very good. Ragnar nodded. Qin Yan nodded slightly, and then sent a message to Clay. With the soul contract, communication was still very easy. Clay, you should be ready to enter the Misty Mountains! Roar. Ragnar roared. Qin Yan had just finished this sentence. A deafening dragon roar sounded, shaking the ground. Bang. 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 The huge body of the Black Dragon Queen fell from the sky, bringing a terrifying wave of air. A strong dark force emanated from its body. No one dared to provoke it. Master. Trisna called out, you're not going to take Luminous with you. As our demon lord, she should know more information. No need. Qin Yan shook his head. Qin Yan glanced at Clay, eager to try, and Qin Yan said to Trisna, "Don't worry, with Clay's current strength, even if she fights alone, she can win in one battle." Humph. Jian, which Wang shouted coldly. Clay is very proud. She doesn't listen to anyone except Qin Yan, including Trisna. Clay thinks that this is stealing her favor. "My lord, as long as Clay comes, no one can stop your will." "Okay, Clay, I'm optimistic about you." Qin Yan did not stop Clay. He knew very well the cruelty of the Black Dragon, and Clay was the leader of the Black Dragon clan, the Black Dragon Queen. Every move of hers revealed a superior momentum. And this kind of pride is exactly what Qin Yan lacks. It is precisely because of this that Clay was able to defeat opponents who were much higher than her realm. Qin Yan had never thought of making Clay a comprehensive commander. She only needed to kill the opponent, and nothing else mattered. With this contract, Clay will unconditionally obey his command, and there should be no problem. "Luminous, short hair, I will take Clay and Trisna to the Misty Mountains, and then let them lead the vampire army to occupy the entire Dark Swamp. And underground, there is a demon army. The Dark Swamp on the ground has become a castle. 2 layers of protection. It is impossible to break through the gate of the abyss. When I get the Eternal Stone and build an Eternal Well, I can turn this place into an impregnable jungle. By then, I can have 3 fortresses." Qin Yan thought to himself. "In addition, I remember that the dwarves, who were famous for casting and runes, seem to live in this misty mountain range. This trip to find the Eternal Gem, maybe we can try to take them under our command. Let's go." "Yi Futian said." Qin Yan rode on the back of the Black Dragon and said, "Clay, you haven't taken action for a long time. This time, this area is going to be in chaos." Roar. Regma roared. With a deafening roar, Clay flapped her wings and flew east of the quiet forest. Soon, a majestic mountain range shrouded in thick white fog appeared in front of her sight. This is the so-called Yuanshu Mountains. Then, the system sound also sounded in her ears. Ding dong. "You have entered a new map, Misty Mountains." The sound came, indicating that Qin Yan had officially entered. However, after entering the Misty Mountains, the flashing emerald green light on the map automatically disappeared. Obviously, the clues provided by the magic circle can only determine the approximate location. The true location of the Eternal Gem still needs to be explored by the player himself. "Master." At this time, Trisna came to Qin Yan with her elf wings fluttering. "I can sense that the Eternal Gem is hidden in the mountains. If I can get closer, my sense will be stronger." "That's not bad." Qin Yan. "Why, in that case, let's just attack in little by little." Roar. After the words fell. Clay's huge body suddenly landed on a high ground. But the ground in front was in a mess. Obviously, there had been a battle here not long ago. After Qin Yan's observation, it was confirmed that the hunters here before were some 3rd-level wolf hunters. Sure enough, not long after, Qin Yan rode on Clay and found a wolf nest in the surrounding area. It was a tribe. It was composed of a large number of wolves, at least more than 2,000. But with their attributes, they could not cause any substantial damage to Clay. "Clay, I'll leave it to you next. Why so?" Qin Yan immediately ordered. "Kill them all." Roar. The first battle in the Misty Mountains began. Roar. Putting Qin Yan on the high ground, Clay flew into the air, and then quickly descended to the lower werewolf tribe. Woo! Werewolves immediately discovered Clay. They had never seen a black dragon, but the fear of their race instinct made them flee immediately. But Qin Yan showed no mercy at all. "Attack!" Clay! Roar. The huge black dragon flew over the tribe, and the dark flames swept across the land. Wherever it passed, the werewolves fell down the moment they were infected. 2,000 were reduced to ashes in less than half a minute. "You are worthy at being Lady Clay." Although she had seen more shocking scenes, Trisna looked at Clay with endless shock on her face. Qin Yan did not have much emotional fluctuation. He had expected this scene a long time ago. After all, there was a huge gap between the two sides. Chirp, chirp. But at this time, it seemed that the black dragon breath that Clay spewed out had a large impact range, and thousands of harpies suddenly flew out from the dense forest in front. Harpies are 5th-level creatures. They have the head and body of a woman, long hair, bird wings and bronze claws. They are numerous and extremely fast, and even have the ability to control the storm. They just rushed out of the dense forest, but almost in the blink of an eye, they turned into green rays and rushed towards Clay. "Get out of here, little flying insect." But Clay was not afraid at all. She spewed dragon breath, then flapped her wings violently, and the winds emitting dark energy swept over, and the harpies were instantly torn into pieces. The black dragon breath also swept across the air. Hundreds of harpies were melted every time. But Clay was not satisfied with this. She flapped her wings violently and rose from the sky, and then locked onto the bird pavilion where the harpies lived at a glance, and then the terrifying dark breath quickly condensed in Clay's mouth. Boom. 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 3 huge dragon breath fireballs burning with black flames fell like meteorites. Boom. The next moment, 3 earth-shattering noises shook the entire Misty Mountains, and even the high ground where Qin Yan stood trembled. In the dense forest. The bird pavilion where the harpies lived was instantly destroyed. Then, the terrifying air wave spread rapidly around the bird pavilion. The harpies in the air had no time to dodge and were directly blown into pieces by the air wave. The thick trees below were also directly broken by the air wave generated by the explosion. It was simply a disaster. Compared to the 14th level dragon, Wang goes, my mountain giant in my previous life is nothing but scum. Seeing this scene, Qin Yan's blood boiled. Holding such a powerful weapon. It is only a matter of time to conquer the entire Empire continent. At this time, the pleasant system prompt sound also came to Qin Yan's ears one after another. Found the ownerless bird pavilion, do you want to occupy it immediately? Found the ownerless wolf tribe, do you want to occupy it immediately? In the Empire continent, the player can only lead the army to clean up the entire nest, and then the nest will enter the ownerless state, and then it can be considered as a stronghold belonging to you. But the wild nest is not so easy to occupy. Even the 3rd level wolf tribe just now, not all of them are ordinary wolf hunters, there are many strong and enhanced wolf barbarians, and even elite wolf watchers who were born to cast magic. In addition, there is also elite level gnoll poacher. Only after killing all the above gnolls, you can be considered to have successfully attacked a wild nest. You can imagine. This is a very difficult thing for ordinary players. But now. The terrifying black flames spewed out by Clay instantly wiped out all the harpies in the sky and the gnoll hunters on the ground. The system also directly announced. These 2 wild nests all belong to Qin Yan's property. Occupy. Out. Qin Yan's voice fell. Suddenly, the mysterious system power enveloped, and the bird pavilion and gnoll tribe destroyed by Clay began to rebuild bit by bit. It is just that the speed seems very slow. But there is nothing to do about it. If the player only kills the monsters in the wild nest during the attack, and does not cause major damage to the building, the nest will soon be able to provide players with a new type of soldiers. But now. Clay's fiery dragon breath just now almost razed the entire dense forest to the ground. Such serious damage. Siest escuchando esta novela en un canal distinto a mundo fanfic novelas, significat lo descarga and y subieron sin esfuerzos invitamos cordialmente a visitar nuestro canal. Mundo fanfic novelas all encontras la versión original de esta historia y podrás explorar muchas otras novelas de diversos narradores. Te esperamos para sumergirte en un mundo de novelas incredibles. Chapter 215. It doesn't matter. It will take at least a week to restore the original appearance. Of course, it doesn't matter. The main purpose of Qin Yan's visit to the Misty Mountains this time is to obtain the eternal gem hidden in it. As for these wild nests, to be honest, except for the nests of some high-level soldiers, which may arouse Qin Yan's interest, low-level nests such as the Gnoll tribe and the bird pavilion are completely random. Of course, it doesn't mean that they are completely worthless. At least in terms of territory population and territory area, there is still a great improvement. Territory upgrade. Territory name. Valena. Current level. Large village. Next level. Primary town. Territory area. 0.211200 square kilometers. Not yet satisfied. Territory resources. Satisfied. Territory buildings. Satisfied. Territory population. 52475680000. Not yet satisfied. The above is the current situation of Valena. After Qin Yan captured the Hellfire Peninsula, the territory level was directly upgraded by 2 stages, so the territory area and population are just starting. But there is no doubt that as the territory level increases, the area and population will only increase faster and faster. For example, the 2 wild nests currently occupied. It directly provides nearly 500 square kilometers of territory area increase. And when the nest is repaired and the jackals and harpies inside are refreshed, the territory population will increase again. In short, this time, in the process of coming to the Misty Mountains to find the eternal gem, it is also a rare opportunity to upgrade the territory level. Clay, come back. Thinking of this, Qin Yan immediately ordered, let's continue to attack deeper! Roar! Master. At At this time, Trisna suddenly came to Qin Yan with her exquisite elf wings. I just found a little thing below, and I think you should like it. After speaking, she spread her palms. Appeared in Trisna's palm. It was a glimmering architectural blueprint. Just as Trisna handed the glimmering architectural blueprint to Qin Yan, a pleasant system sound rang in his ears. Ding dong. Congratulations to player Qin Yan, your subordinate accidentally found a complete architectural blueprint while cleaning the battlefield. Storm Wings 1. Storm Wings level. Legendary. Basic function. Magic wings. Can provide wind 740 magic blessing for flying creatures in the player's territory, making them more agile. Basic function. Small hurricane. Under the blessing of wind magic, there is a certain probability of generating hurricanes when flying, causing damage to the enemy. Basic ability. Hurricane Chaos. This skill will cause more damage to the enemy's air units. Additional effect. The wind element can increase the defense and offense of all your flying units. The divine skill of the chosen one. Materials required for construction. 30,000 gold coins, 50,000 pieces of wood, 10,000 pieces of ore, and 300 pieces of Pegasus wings. Introduction. Storm wings can increase the wind element of all flying monsters, improve their flexibility, and also improve their attack power in the air. It is an extremely rare and precious equipment. However, to create such equipment, a large number of Pegasus wings are needed. This design can improve the strength of flying monsters. Qin Yan was overjoyed after reading the properties of this drawing. This is a structural diagram. It should be that Clay got lucky after killing the harpy and got this equipment. It can make our air force more flexible. It also has a certain bonus to the enemies in the air. The effect of this move is really too great. With this building, I can fight in the air. Qin Yan was a little speechless after showing his own data. And Pegasus wings are used to make this city. Qin Yan knew this. As far as I know, there should be a certain probability of dropping when killing Pegasus cavalry. Pegasus is a 7th level monster. This is a beautiful female elf warrior, and her mount is a winged Pegasus. Their attack power, defense power, and health are not very high, but their speed is very fast, and their number is also very large. They can make various evasive actions in the air, so that your surface units cannot effectively attack them, but will be defeated one by them. As for the air force. With the advantage of the number of Pegasus cavalry, they can form an efficient formation to surround and kill the opponent. Of course, the premise is that your strength is strong enough. Otherwise. Going up rashly will only bring yourself more trouble. However, it just so happens that I have such a powerful black dragon in my hands. Patting Clay's head, Qin Yan remembered the harpy surrounded by the black dragon before, which was killed easily like a group of flies, and he immediately felt confident. Clay, let's go deal with those Pegasus. As you wish! Roar. Leyline shouted. With a deafening roar, Clay walked towards the depths of the misty mountains. It was Qin Yan's order. He remembered the nest of the Pegasus cavalry, where there was an area called Source of Magic. In the Imperial period, every life had its own unique characteristics, which can be seen from this point. Just like the Pegasus cavalry that Qin Yan was going to deal with. The Pegasus are born with a sacred and noble temperament. Most of the places where they live are in remote mountains and forests. Qin Yan was not sure whether there was such a thing. However, as long as we go deep into this area, there should be no problem. Master. He called out. However, at this moment, Trisna suddenly screamed. I feel that there is a very violent fluctuation of magic power not far ahead. Is this the legendary Eternal Stone? No, there must be something else. Qin Yan's heart moved, and he nodded. So, is this spring water right in front of us? Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. And at this moment, a sound of rushing water came from the front. This is a small lake. And above the lake, there is a waterfall falling from the cliff. The sound of rushing water came from this direction. However, Qin Yan's focus now is not on the waterfall. His sight is firmly locked behind the waterfall. With a glance, he did not find anything unusual. Clay. Gerlon whispered. But Qin Yan said categorically. Behind this waterfall is the nest of the Pegasus cavalry! Roar. Leyline shouted. For Qin Yan's words, Clay had no doubt at all. Following his order, a black dragon breath suddenly rose up. But at this moment, Clay's strong fighting instinct was fully demonstrated at this moment. After releasing the black dragon breath, she did not attack immediately. She restrained her breath and walked towards the waterfall step by step. Until the temperature of the dragon breath and the flame evaporated the entire lake water. At this moment, a petite figure walked out from behind the waterfall on the cliff. It was the Pegasus cavalry. Enemy attack. Just then, a voice suddenly sounded. They saw the huge black dragon and shouted immediately. But it was too late. Boom. A huge explosion sounded. A muffled sound came. A huge black flame with a diameter of about 3 meters spewed out from Clay's mouth, like a meteorite, and hit the waterfall fiercely. There was the nest of the Pegasus cavalry. Boom. A huge sound came. A shocking explosion. The entire cliff collapsed at this moment. Crackle. The terrible high temperature made the lake water below boil. Most of the clear pool water evaporated in the blink of an eye. This is the terrible thing about the black flame dragon bread. After the waterfall dissipated, the cliff behind was exposed. The nest of the Pegasus cavalry had been completely destroyed. Black dragon! He shouted. BB. But it is undeniable that the movement speed of these Pegasus cavalry is too fast. Although Clay has been silently releasing black flames and flames, some Pegasus cavalry still survive. But that's it. Jack, the black wings behind Clay were like two giant sharp blades. Wherever they passed, the remaining dozens of Pegasus cavalry were all cut into pieces. Then, a crisp sound rang out. Ding dang. Occupy. Hearing this, Qin Yan nodded quickly. After speaking, he was wrapped in a mysterious energy. The almost dried up lake and the crumbling cliff immediately became the territory of Valana. Territory upgrade. Valana. Current village level. Large village. Next level. Small town. Territory. 77, 71, 120, 000 square kilometers, unfinished. Territory resources. Full. Construction of territory. Satisfied. Unsatisfied. With the spring water, my territory has expanded by nearly 200 square kilometers. If it continues to develop in this trend, I'm afraid that Valana can be promoted to a small town. Qin Yan closed the Lord panel and sighed in his heart. If it were an ordinary player, it would be difficult to capture this area even if it was at night and the Pegasus cavalry's vision was limited. However, Qin Yan was different. To be precise, it was because of Christina. The dragon race has extremely high sensitivity and the talent of night vision. Even in the dark of night, when the vision of other birds is affected to a certain extent, they can easily find the position of the other party. But Clay is the Black Dragon Queen, the most daring one. Why wait until dark? Even if 1 or 2 breaths and fireballs are released, it is quite terrifying. This is also the reason why Qin Yan is confident. This trip to the Misty Mountains can definitely expand the territory of Valana several times. However, at this time, a crisp voice rang out. Ding dang. Congratulations, Qin Yan, you meet the conditions for building the Storm Wings! Start construction now. Hearing this voice, Qin Yan was also startled, but soon came back to his senses. Clay got a lot of Pegasus wings from the Pegasus cavalry she just killed. This should be because she was so lucky that she collected enough materials in a short time. She is indeed the chosen one, with extraordinary talent. At this time, Trisna flagged her beautiful wings and raised her arms. In an instant, more than 10 dazzling green lights appeared in the forest. These are all elves transformed by the power of nature. This is the benefit of forest elves. Qin was very happy about this. Originally, the work of building houses was done by workers. That is to say, if players want to build their own houses outside, they need a group of workers. What's more, these monsters are all talented. Once the war starts, the first target is those weak farmers. This requires a certain amount of troops to ensure safety. And even so, but many workers died in this war. It can be said that this is an extremely thorny problem. However, Trisna is a natural god. With this forest, even in an area with natural power, she can summon these elves and build some houses. It is easy. Master. He called. Trisna continued. As soon as we arrived here, we sent out several elves to find the eternal stone there. I hope you will punish me for taking action without even saying hello. Punishment? With such an obedient subordinate serving me, what else is there to punish? I haven't had time to praise him yet. Well done, Trisna. Qin Yan walked up and touched Trisna's head. Next time there is such a situation, I will leave it to you. In fact, Trisna is a natural god. However, Qin Yan's plan is not to make her a warrior or a commander. Qin Yan just regards Trisna as his personal housekeeper, or even a small leader. Her duty is to manage her own territory. As for the war, it would be enough with Clay and the others. Made group. Qin Yan's mind began to fantasize uncontrollably. At this time, all the elves had been completed. A group of elves ran out of the woods, and Qin Yan moved his palm, and the design drawing of storm wings flew up. Boom boom boom. The earth shook. A green wind force emanated from him. The Pegasus wings swept the ground and rolled it up. Affected by the magic power, it condensed immediately. Transformed into a huge double wind building. Qin Yan also discovered this. The Pegasus wings involved have far exceeded the required king of more than 100. This means, and now, this pair of hurricane wings. This building is not only much larger than other buildings, but also looks much taller and more majestic, and the wind elements released from it are also much stronger than other places. I didn't expect there is such a building. Qin Yan saw this and came back to his senses at the first time. There is such a record on the official website. The construction of each city requires a large amount of building materials to exert a stronger power, but such design drawings are extremely rare. In the game, there are very few people who can get this book. However, it is not easy to gather enough building materials. As for the others, let alone it is not necessarily possible to have one out of millions of people. But in this life, and Qin Yan, because of good luck, went online early. Such design drawings, of course, the more the better. Swish. Swish. At the same time, a wave of magic power came. The storm wings have been completed. Then a clear wind element shield, when Trisna blocked the beautiful little fairy wings. While greatly improving agility. The wings behind Trisna have become more exquisite and beautiful. In addition, even in battle, it can also stir up a strong wind. This is undoubtedly a devastating blow to the enemy's air force. Ouch, it's so itchy. But Clay seemed very uncomfortable. The two huge wings kept flapping, but still could not break free from the restraints of the wind attribute. Chapter 216. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Both Trisna and Qin Yan couldn't help but burst out laughing. Hoo-hoo. The elves were also very excited. However, at this moment, a crisp voice came to Qin Yan's ears. Ding dang. A strong man expressed his willingness to serve you. Can I? Good man. Hearing this news, Qin Yan was slightly startled, and then he was happy. So he is a great hero. In the Empire, the leader of the army could not be called a hero. For example, the centaur Captain Clears, who Qin Yan had recruited, had a speed aura, but this skill could only work on centaurs, and Qin Yan's soldiers could not enjoy the effect of this halo. However, heroes are different. Even the white-clad heroes with the lowest rarity have a special fighting aura. In the game, as long as the troops are arranged, the hero will command them. Even if it is a single troop, it is the same. You can also enjoy the blessing of fighting. This is the power of heroes, and it is unique. However, if you want to recruit a hero, the requirements are very strict, unless in rare cases, you expand your territory to a city and obtain enough land, enough population, enough resources, enough military strength, enough number, enough strength, enough talents to build a hero tower and draw heroes from the hero talent platform. And, most importantly, this design is something that everyone cannot avoid. If there is no construction formula for the hero altar, even if it meets all the requirements, there will be no discussion. In any case, Qin Yan has never heard of anyone being able to refine the hero altar. Even the first batch of people who entered the imperial period and established their own empire are no exception. There is no heroic spirit altar on its territory. From this point, we can see how precious this hero altar is. But now, Qin Yan, with the great luck of the chosen one, I may not be unable to become the strongest person in the world. And now, under the powerful force, this elf warrior is willing to serve Qin Yan, and Qin Yan has formed a brave army. Agree. Ragnar nodded. Hearing Qin Yan's words, the people present nodded one after another. Dem. Dong. A female elf, covered in sacred light, sat on a Pegasus and walked towards Qin Yan step by step. Her hair was light yellow, her skin was flawless and white, her ears were pointed, and she was wearing a set of golden armor and battle clothes, giving people a noble feeling. And the Pegasus under his crotch was even more beautiful. There was a golden horn growing between his eyebrows. The silver wings spread out, covering the sky and the sun. Every feather was white. This made her look like a sacred statue. Alice, Pegasus warrior, meet the master. My name is Qin Yan, and I am your master. Qin Yan nodded, just wanting to see his own strength. But at this moment, Alice's body suddenly burst out a dazzling golden light. At this moment, Qin Yan also felt it. Alice's momentum suddenly increased. Ding dang. Alice, you signed an agreement with Alice. You have completed her transformation and become the Silver Wing Queen! Ding dang. Congratulations Qin Yan, your subordinate Alice, after a transformation, has obtained a superhero level ability, Silver! Alice. Female. Pegasus warrior, great. 10th level brave. Hero. Silver Queen. Rarity. Orange. Rating. 1 HP. 1000 mana. 200 attack, 50 defense, 25 attributes, 30 strength, 25 stamina, 50 agility, 30 intelligence. Racial talent. Silver blade. Alice can strike with a long-range sword. Talent. Silver speed. After activation, Pegasus wings will emit a sacred light, greatly improving the user's agility. Racial skill. Silver wings. Intensive attacks on a specified range, and powerful attacks on enemies within a certain range. Heroic talent. Silver wings. The army led by Alice will be immune to all mental skills. Commander. 20,000. Introduction. Alice is a character of Qin Yan, with strong hero abilities. Orange equipment is really good. After Qin Yan saw Alice's data, his heart was also filled with excitement. This hero blessed by the silver wings is also called the fighting spirit. Let the army led by Alice have absolute resistance to all mental spells. Qin Yan has also heard about the rumors of Tianzhou in his memory. The most famous is the splashing ability, which allows the soldiers under his command to attack multiple targets around. Coupled with a defensive fountain of life, it can quickly restore the health of the soldiers under his command. This ability can be said to be quite powerful. However, this is the first time he has seen someone ignore his mental power. You know, in battle, the cavalry is most afraid of their containment ability. The charge was broken, and everyone's anger was extinguished. Therefore, immunity to the attack of the paladin is the best choice. In addition, Alice also has a special talent, that is, the speed of silver. From now on, the vanguard troops led by Alice will become a sharp dagger, piercing the enemy's heart. Qin Yan's heart was also full of shock. Thank you for your gift, sir. At this time, Alice also completely controlled her new ability. Alice is willing to fight for you! Yes, yes, yes. Qin Yan nodded, and then seemed to remember something. Alice, you're a warrior of the Pegasus Knights. I wonder if you have done more research on our race? In the Imperial era, all creatures were intelligent. At the same time, they would also collect information. At the same time, they would also investigate the situation of the surrounding races. In this way, they could judge what level their own race belonged to in this area, and they could bully or not at all. And now. And what Qin Yan was most interested in was the news about the Eternal Stone. Trishana had already sent her elves to explore the situation in this area. However, no one knew the situation of the Misty Mountains better than him. There is no doubt that this is the native inhabitant of the Misty Mountains. And Qin Yan did not disappoint Alice. Master, he called out. After saying that, Alice took off into the air and headed straight for the Misty Mountains. Alice, you should find what you want there. Clay, go! Roar. Leyline shouted. Qin Yan rode on Clay's back and followed Alice closely. She was very fast, almost flying close to the ground. These people are all extremely smart. Alice did not see the Eternal Stone, but when she felt the strong natural power and magic fluctuations from the stone, she immediately recalled from her memory arrived at a place in this area. Master, he shouted. The closer Trishna got, the more solemn her expression became. Sure enough, there is a strong natural magic fluctuation ahead. Very good. Ragnar nodded. Thinking of this, Qin Yan's mood was stirred again. The Well of Eternity is a legendary forest city. It can bring a lot of life and magic to Richard, as well as increase magic. The premise is that Qin Yan can refine it. At the time, the defense of the entire forest fortress will be greatly improved. This made Qin Yan, who originally planned to use the Silent Forest as a base, in a good mood. Master, he called. Alice slowed down. We are almost there. A spring appeared in front of him. An extremely pure spring flowed out from this mountain range. The largest spring water exuded a green light. Qin Yan took a look, and a hint of luster appeared on his face. Above the spring water, there was something emitting a green light. It was the immortal crystal that Qin Yan needed. Sir, I'll get it for you right away. At this moment, Alice saw Qin Yan's happy face and realized that she had not taken the wrong path. She immediately drove the silver Pegasus towards the location of the spring. That was his silver speed. As a warrior of the Pegasus cavalry, Alice herself possessed extremely high agility. And now, he was blessed with the silver wings and the wind wings. At this moment, Alice's speed reached an incredible level. How terrible it was. But a low voice sounded. A silver light flashed on Alice's body, and the whole person disappeared from the original place in an instant. When she appeared again, she returned the eternal crystal to Qin Yan's hands. Alice, what magic are you performing for me? All this happened in a flash, so fast that Qin Yan had no time to catch it. The speed of this silver wing is really terrible. Ding dang. Congratulations, Qin Yan, you meet the conditions for building the Well of Eternity! Start building now. Hearing this voice, Qin Yan felt extremely comfortable. Getting ashore early will give you such an advantage. No one will compete for the treasures hidden in their own territory. If you have the ability and some luck, then your start will be very good. In the previous life, Qin Yan went in for a relatively short time, and the good things inside had already been taken by others, so even if he tried his best to get something, it might not be as good as what a person who just stepped into this world. And now, all the benefits have been taken away by Qin Yan. Thank you, Alice. Qin Yan took the Stone of Eternity. Right. Alice is happy to solve the problem for you. Please give flowers, Triss, Anna, take those things, come back here, and start building a Well of Eternity. Qin Yan smiled and said, I plan to take this opportunity to take those dwarves for my own use. The Well of Eternity can bring huge health and magic bonuses to the surrounding allies, so it must be built on its own base. In addition, Qin Yan also thought about taking all the dwarves living in this area under his command. Because from Qin Yan's impression, he is a very smart person. The dwarves' attainments in casting are second to none in the entire history of the Empire. What's more, Qin Yan also remembered that the dwarves have a unique method of making rooms. If it weren't for other reasons, Qin Yan would have wanted to conquer this ethnic group that played a big role in the development of his territory with clay. However, it's not too late. Yes, Yin. Trishana respectfully accepted the 8 eternal stones and said seriously, Trishana will definitely not let you down. Although the Well of Eternity is very important to Qin Yan, if there is anyone who wants to build it the most, it must be Trishna. You know, this is an epic forest elf building. Trishna is a natural god. For her, it is a great honor to build such a building for her people. Qin Yan is naturally happy to see it happen. The larger the territory, the stronger he is as the owner. Okay. Qin Yan nodded slightly. Be careful, yeah. He nodded. After that, Trishna flagged her beautiful wings, and the whole person turned into a ball of green light, and quickly chased after Valen and Ort. Dwarves have lived on this land since the Empire. They are not tall and look rough, but they are very brave and loyal. They wield axes and hammers, fight with various tribes, and defend order. Coming back to his senses, Qin Yan recalled everything he knew about dwarves. Moreover, dwarves are the best weapons and armor makers in the world. They are proficient in metallurgy, construction, mining, gem manufacturing and other technologies. In short, as long as you can become friends with them or make them surrender. Qin Yan. If so, how much benefit will it bring to us? This is indeed the case. Alice, do you know the dwarves on the surface? Faye asked. At the same time, aware of Qin Yan's sight, Alice hurriedly said, You just said you want to conquer the dwarves in the Misty Mountains, right? You are really amazing. And the dwarves live in this area. Qin Yan knew very well that the dwarves advocated peace and did not eat worldly fireworks, which is why they love to hollow out a mountain and build a magical country inside. Therefore, while building this country, they will also use their superb technology to hide their boudoirs. Alice nodded, then raised a slender finger and pointed to where she was standing. You're right, the dwarves live in this mountain. Finally, Qin Yan said another sentence. For others, it is almost impossible to find their country in the mountains. Before Qin Yan had time to ask questions, he heard a violent vibration on the ground under them. No need. Seeing Alice's lovely look, Qin Yan couldn't help but walk up to her, pinched her nose, and asked, Don't tell me you can also escape from the earth. But this also brings a problem. Using force will only have the opposite effect. If it is the dwarves, it is another matter. However, this is obviously not what Qin Yan wants to see. Clay has lost her patience. Let me do it. My black dragon breath is enough to mount this mountain. That's right. Hearing Rob's question, Rob nodded. Qin Yan didn't say much, just nodded. Alice, do you know where they live? Maybe Alice can give him some useful information. This is also why that dwarves hate war. If I remember correctly, aren't they very interested in building a secret country? At this thought, Qin Yan couldn't help asking. Let's find a dwarf to try. Boom, boom, boom. Qin Yan couldn't help shuddering when he thought of this scene. If this is the case, will the dwarves go to war with us? What he has to do is to make those dwarves who are willing to serve him and follow him. That's why Qin Yan is so anxious to make the dwarves surrender. My lord, I think Alice should have heard something. Master, you are so kind. Even if they win, it is inevitable. Alice suddenly pulled Qin Yan. We just need to drill a short distance inside, and they can get out from inside. Otherwise. Tell the truth. Master, Miss Clay is right. Chapter 217. But surprisingly, then, the ground suddenly sank. But surprisingly, the ground collapsed, but soon returned to its original state. Legs, body, hands, head. The soil and rocks merged together and turned into a huge stone giant. Stone Man grade. 6th level elite LV 20 damage. 160 to 200 points. Defensa. 200 HP. 50,000 mana. 2000 racial ability. Not affected by any spell attack. Talent. Boulder projectile. Throw a boulder at the enemy, causing huge damage and dizziness to the enemy. Racial skill. Lightning strike. Hit the ground with a heavy body, causing a shock effect, and attacking all nearby targets. Introduction. A huge stone, condensed by magic, has powerful power, but has no life and no soul. Stone Man. After reading the information about this thing, Qin Yan immediately understood. This kind of monster was very common during the Imperial period. Because it was a puppet, it had a strong resistance to magic. It is precisely because of this characteristic that it is used to guard the forbidden area. He never thought that there would be such a thing here. And at this time. Then, one after another, the stone men climbed up from the ground. Qin Yan's ears also heard a harsh voice. Alarm! Because you took the eternal stone, the stone men nearby have been awakened. Please prepare for defense! Clay, change back to your dragon princess state and kill them all. Qin Yan gave the order immediately. They are born to be the nemesis of magic. Even Clay's flame breath will be burned into pieces after a period of scorching. In addition, the huge body of the black dragon has a high probability of being hit by the boulder. Although it is impossible to cause any substantial damage to Clay, it is too embarrassing. It is better to make 880 like this. It is better to let Clay transform into a dragon princess and fight her head on. Punch them. Roar. Lady Lin shouted. As you wish. A terrifying black storm swept over. A woman with long silver hair, holding a black flame dragon spear, walked out slowly from the dark hurricane. It was the dragon princess after Clay's transformation. Bang. 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 The huge stone golems noticed Clay at the first time, and then stomped their feet and kicked Clay. Go to hell. Clay waved her hand, and the black dragon spear suddenly soared to more than 3 meters high. There were mysterious lines on the black spear, from top to bottom, covering the whole body of this monster. Boom. A loud noise was deafening. Its huge body was instantly torn into pieces. However, the dark power on the dragon spear still did not disappear. Ha! He roared, and roared. Clay held the black dragon spear in her hand, leaped up, and smashed it hard on the ground. Suddenly, cracks appeared one after another at the place where Clay was, rippling like water waves. The huge bodies of the stone men collapsed under the impact of this force. After a long time, this force slowly subsided. The gargoyle was smashed into pieces. With a wave of the dragon spear, it turned into powder. Master! He called out. Alice was suspended in the air, with a deep shock in her eyes. Is this the ability that Miss Clay has? Clay did not release her pressure until she learned that Alice was Qin Yan's subordinate. But as the battle progressed, Clay naturally revealed a trace of dragon breath. Although it is a friendly army. But at this moment, Alice's face is still horrified. Don't worry, Clay has no ill will towards you. Qin Yan touched Alice's head from behind and comforted her. One day, you will be as powerful as her. As the Queen of the Silver Winds, Alice's talent and strength are among the best. A little training. In the future, he will definitely become a powerful general and sweep the world. Yeah. He nodded vigorously. Alice nodded seriously. In order to better protect my teacher, I must quickly improve my strength! Haha. Dong Bozuang laughed. Very good, very good. And at this moment, the body of the gargoyle on the ground was instantly blown away by the strong wind. However, Qin Yan saw it clearly. All the stone men disappeared. A golden architectural picture slowly appeared in front of everyone. Then, a crisp voice came from his mind. Ding dang. Congratulations, your men have killed all the gargoyles! Congratulations on obtaining the complete building blueprints. Earth Altar 1. Earth Altar, level. Legendary. Basic function. Puppet guard. A certain number of rock puppet guards can be generated around the player's building. Basic function. Strengthen skin. Reduce the damage received by the player's soldiers when attacked by 20%. Basic function. Resistance skin. Increase the resistance of the player's soldiers to magic, so that they can have magic resistance like heroes. Extra function. Negative resistance. A temporary immune shell can be added to the mount unit in the player's territory, making it immune to any negative magic for a short period of time. Extra function triggered by the god-level talent of the Chosen Sun. Construction materials. Gold 80,000, wood 30,000, ore 50,000, rock puppet fragment 300, mountain giant soul essence 20. Description. The Earth Altar is formed by the condensation of Earth element energy. It can reduce a lot of damage to your troops. It is a very precious and rare building, but the premise is that the player must master the power to defeat the giants. The above is the architectural attribute of the blueprint in Qin Yan's hand. Strengthening skin, resistant skin, and the triggered negative resistance extra function can all help Qin Yan's troops improve their defense capabilities, which is extremely powerful. As for building materials. After Clay cleaned up the rock puppets, the fragments of 300 units have been collected. In other words, Qin Yan only needs to find the nest of the mountain giants next. Then collect their soul essence. Then he has the qualifications to build the earth altar. Mountain giants. Suspended in the air, Qin Yan looked at the majestic misty mountains in front of him, and his thoughts were slightly scattered. After all, in his previous life, he relied on a mountain giant under his command to survive in the apocalypse. Although he died in the end. With that memory. Until now, it still lingers in my heart. Master. However, at this time, Clay soft call woke Qin Yan up. Those mountain giants like to disguise themselves as huge rocks. As long as we keep going deeper along the mountains, we can find their nests. Ms. Clay is right. Alice also added, Master, although I don't know the location of the entrance to the dwarf kingdom, these giants in the mountains may hide clues. Yeah, let's go. Qin Yan nodded. Try to capture the mountain giants' nests before dark. He already understood what Alice meant. With the exquisite construction technology mastered by the dwarves, if they want to find the entrance to their mountain kingdom, they can only use force to deter. The jackals on the ground at first, the rock puppets hidden underground, and now the mountain giants that are ready to be captured, live deep in the mountains. Step by step towards the mountains. Go deeper into the mountains little by little. Show supreme power. This is the best way to make the brave and warlike dwarves surrender voluntarily. Besides, Qin Yan has never been a hesitant person. The mountain giant's confidant is a thing of the past. The guardian beside him now is already the top level 14th Order Black Dragon Queen. Roar. The next moment, a nearly 60-meter tall black dragon soared into the sky, hovering over the misty mountains, and began to look for traces of the mountain giants. There. Soon, Clay found something. On the vast rock wall. Dozens of giant rocks were neatly arranged. Boom, boom, boom. But as Clay approached, the entire mountain shook. In the blink of an eye, the dozens of giant rocks turned into huge monsters. They were huge and strong, at least 20 meters tall, waving heavy and huge giant stone cones in their hands. It was Qin Yan's target this time, the mountain giant. Mountain giant grade. 8th elite. Race. Giant. Level 4, 20 attack power. 240-300 defense power. 300 HP. 200,000 mana. 5,000 racial talent. Earth blessing. Any damage received will be reduced by 30% racial ability. Trample. Causes heavy damage and stun effects to surrounding units. Racial ability. Landslide. After the death of the mountain giant, it will cause indiscriminate heavy damage to all surrounding units and buildings. Description. Mountain giants are quiet by nature and like to blend in with nature in a comfortable way, but they have strong bodies and are loyal guardians of the earth goddess. Warning. Your black dragon is alarmed. The mountain giant's exclamation mark. Your troops are about to be attacked. Please prepare for defense in advance. Sharp system sounds came one after another, announcing the start of the battle. Hand over your soul essence. Clay has never taken enemies weaker than her seriously. The only top troops that can make her treat them with caution are those with equally powerful strength. At present, these huge mountain giants are still not qualified for her to take seriously. And at this moment. Suddenly, all the mountain giants on the rock wall below are suddenly covered with a layer of green light film on their bodies, and their originally heavy bodies became sluggish again. Ding dong. Affected by your title of Elf King, the mountain giant's ability to move has been completely weakened. Oh? The title of Elf King has such an effect? Qin Yan was overjoyed when the voice came. The mountain giants believe in the goddess of the earth. They will never surrender to the forest elves until the moment when nature is about to be destroyed. That's why. Fighting with Qin Yan, the Elf King, the mountain giant's ability to move has been weakened again. This will definitely be beneficial to Clay's next battle. Roar. At this time, Clay had already started fighting with the mountain giants. In the black dragon state, Clay's body is at least more than 60 meters, and even the huge mountain giants are nearly 3 times larger than them. Bang. Bang. The sharp dragon claws passed through the bodies of the mountain giants, and their rock bodies immediately began to fall apart. But Clay did not stop. Dragon claws, wings, dragon breath, and endless dark energy were released at the same time. Boom. 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 The sky collapsed and the earth cracked, sand and rocks flew. The battle with the mountain giants. Clay crushed them with an absolute winner. Ding dong. A knownless mountain giant nest was found. Do you want to occupy it immediately? Occupy. The voice came, and Qin Yan nodded immediately. As soon as the voice fell. Suddenly, the mysterious system power enveloped the entire rock barrier where the mountain giants had previously lived. All of them belonged to the territory of Valina. But, at the same time. The architectural drawings of the earth altar in Qin Yan's palm. Also suddenly burst out with brilliant golden light. It is worthy of being a top-level black dragon of the 14th level. Looking at the giant's body fragments scattered all over the ground, Qin Yan couldn't help but sigh in his heart. He still remembered that at the time, in order to subdue the wild mountain giant, he had mobilized all the military forces of the territory, but in the end he still paid a very painful and heavy price in the process. But the result is now. The mountain giants that were still majestic before have all turned into rubble all over the ground. The essence of their souls has also become Qin Yan's trophy. And all this, but in less than 10 minutes. The 14th level Black Dragon Queen is the guardian. It is so cool. At this time, a pleasant system sound came. Ding dong. Congratulations to the player, the earth altar has been successfully built. When the voice came, Qin Yan lowered his head and looked down. Sure enough, during the time he sighed. A giant altar nearly 10 meters high, emitting rich earth elements, has been built. Thank you for your hard work. Qin Yan looked at the dozens of elves around the altar. They are now just a bunch of starlight. Only with the passage of time, the elves will gradually grow limbs and finally become big elves in human form. This is the way the forest elves are bred. In this world, except for the royal family, every green forest elf comes from this tree of life. And at this moment, this is the function of the earth attribute altar. How powerful is this? This is a puppet guard composed of earth magicians. Territory resources. Full. Bang. 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 Territory improvement just at this moment. Qin Yan sighed in his heart at 4.7, and then looked at Clay. Current village level. Large village. It can be said that the overall defense of the territory is constantly improving. Next level. Small town. He is the only male among the green forest elves, and he also has a talent similar to Trisna, which can slowly summon more little fairies. Swish. Swish. Valina. There are so many stone men guarding. A bright light flashed. Those little goblins in Valina will definitely be frightened by those stone men. However, for these people, this will not make their movement slower, but will make them suffer more damage. Qin Yan couldn't help but open the territory panel, and seeing that the size and number of the territory had increased significantly, a satisfied smile appeared on his face. Maybe, this trip to the Misty Mountains can make Valina promoted to a small town. So, we can build anything anywhere. Territory. 899,998 square meters, unfinished. Immediately afterwards, sculptures emerged one after another around the altar. They drilled out from the ground, and powerful earth magic spread. A huge stone man more than 10 meters high drilled out from the ground. A dark yellow beam of light gushed out from the altar on the ground. Strengthen the skin. Improve resistance. Resonance in the territory. 755,747. Unsatisfied. Building the territory. Satisfied. It was an ancient yellow light, exuding a stable breath. Keep up this speed. And Qin Yan, as an elf king, is also very powerful. Qin Yan was very pleased about this. The whole body is made of hard rock, far beyond the ordinary stone man. He found that a great power was faintly emerging from Clay's huge black dragon. Any enemy who dares to approach them will be severely damaged by them. Chapter 218. As for the army in the Empire period, when players upgrade their territory to a city, they can obtain many human technologies, such as turrets, griffin cages, restaurants, ports, hall of valor, etc. As for the army, lancers, holy priests, outstanding swordsmen, and griffin knights can all be opened. Zeb. The city-level territory is like a dividing line. In the past, no matter whose luck value, it is impossible to drop this kind of building blueprint, let alone let them obtain the corresponding skills. Qin Yan recalled. However, after entering the city, the first batch of troops controlled by human warriors will be greatly improved. Brian and others have been following Qin Yan since he established this area. Now they have drunk the blood of the Abyss and become the Abyss race. However, this does not mean Qin Yan's army has completely turned into a devil. Deep in the silent jungle. Here is the area that Qin Yan established. The human army is still being manufactured. All this is because Qin Yan is developing outside. Therefore, he did not come back often. However, when Valina was promoted to a town, The situation was different. At the time, he would definitely form a human army. After all, the human race is a species with countless possibilities. Honor and tenacity are their greatest symbols. We must complete the task as soon as possible and upgrade the territory to a town as soon as possible. Qin Yan. In that case, I can start to form a human army. In addition, Qin Yan was the first person to upgrade his territory to a city, and he also had great luck and the ability to defy the heavens. Maybe there will be more gods. With this thought, Qin Yan was a little impatient. Roar. Lady Lin shouted. But Clay suddenly roared, and a strong dark power surged from her body. These powers condensed into an energy shield in front of Qin Yan. Did Clay sense the danger? Seeing this, Qin Yan's face changed slightly. Indeed. At the same time, a sharp lightning like a sword shot from the bottom of the cliff. Boom. A loud noise, deafening. The violent lightning bombarded the black energy shield, and a violent force suddenly erupted. But Qin Yan had Lanyu's lightning resistance, and this level of lightning attack was not enough to cause any damage to him. Not to mention the moment the thunder fell. Alice immediately opened her silver wings, and the whole person turned into a silver streamer and flew away. In a blink of an eye, he had sent Qin Yan to a relatively safe place. Zeb. The sudden thunder was easily resolved. Roar. Lady Lin shouted. But Clay was very angry. She would never let others hurt Qin Yan, and she didn't even think about it. She flapped her wings and went to meet it. I don't know. More than a dozen huge monitor lizards have drilled out from under their stone wall. Moreover, when everyone noticed the row of soul-like spikes behind them, they would react immediately. Electric lizard. Electric lizard is a huge monitor lizard that lives on rocks. According to legend, they possess the power of thunder and lightning. There are three major categories, namely lightning lizards, and storm lizards. When they grow up, they can be more than 20 meters long and weigh even more terrifyingly. And now attack Qin Yan's people with lightning speed. That sound came from the huge lizards under the cliff. Electric lizard quality. Elite level 10. It is a coded creature. LV 20 damage. 340 to 380 defense. 300 health, 250,000 mana, 30,000 racial ability. Thunder shield. Cover your entire body with thunder and lightning power, so that your thunder and lightning power cannot penetrate your skin, and your attack speed will also increase by 2%. Racial skill. Thunder step. With the heavy body as the center, all targets will be shaken and put into a dizzy state for 4 seconds. 033 race skill. Cruel devour. Devour a non-hero creature with a lower level than itself and slowly decompose it, with a speed of 1 second. Talent. Chain. Release a powerful lightning, and then release countless lightning, causing damage to the surrounding targets. Description. Electric lizard is a giant lizard with the power of lightning, and it must not be provoked. There is no doubt that these electric lizards are very powerful. Their huge body and terrifying vitality make them invincible. In addition, their lightning spells are simply a nightmare for opponents. However, this is just an ordinary Tianbing. Turning off the attribute bar of the electric lizard, Qin Yan was full of confidence. Clay is the Black Dragon Queen, born with magic resistance. She is born to be the nemesis of the lightning lizard! Who dares to touch my master? At the same time, Clay's huge black dragon body also appeared above the head of the lightning lizard. Die! He shouted. Chapter 219. A clear voice sounded. Bang! 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 After that, the black area spread from underground, instantly covering all the lightning lizards, and an endless black energy storm swept over. Whoo! All of a sudden, all the lightning lizards began to wail, and their bodies began to rot. Crack! A crisp sound rang out. Several huge lightning lizards felt pain and released lightning bolts towards Clay in the sky. The terrifying lightning bolts cut through the sky and hit Clay's body. But the damage to her was minimal. Roar! Leyline shouted in a low voice. Clay's black dragon breath swept all the lightning lizards, turning them into dried corpses. On the other side. In this area, all the electric current lizards turned into a pile of thousands of households. Finally, the storm subsided. And below the cliff, there was a huge corpse of an electric lizard, accompanied by a crisp sound. Ding dang! Your black dragon has killed an electric lizard, and you will be rewarded with 3,000 experience points. Ding dang! Your black dragon has been upgraded to level 21. As soon as the voice fell, a dazzling golden light burst out from under the huge black dragon. His body became bigger again. The black energy storm was getting bigger and bigger. This is the power of the Dragon Clan. All he has to do is upgrade. As long as you are willing, you can get endless blood power. All aspects will be greatly improved. It seems that this dark area is the most effective weapon to deal with these monsters. Qin Yan looked at this scene and was relieved. I can't believe what Clay's next blood awakening will be like. But after reaching level 20, she woke up again. Her upgrade was too slow. Even the 10th level electric lizard couldn't do it. One could give him more than 3,000 experience points. I don't know how long I have to wait for the next time. The lifespan of the dragon race is generally more than thousands of years, or even tens of thousands of years. Clay's current state is like a young girl in the world. He has countless years to awaken his bloodline. There is one more thing that must be said. Becoming the Elf King, the Dragon God, and the Lord of the Abyss has gained infinite life. For example, the Elf King. Most of the elves in the Green Forest plain live for hundreds of years. And the lives of the royal family are even longer. Trishana is one of them. She had lived for hundreds of years before becoming the god of nature, but compared with Green Forest's life, she was nothing. When the future empire merges with this world. As the king of the elves, Qin Yan doesn't have to worry about aging like humans. Not to mention, he has the blood of dragons and demons in his body. Have unlimited life. What I have to do is to make my territory as impregnable as possible, and then monopolize all the precious resources. Qin Yan said. In the new era, I will become the supreme master. No one can compare with me. Master. He called. Clay walked up to Qin Yan. I helped you get rid of all the stink bugs. Disgusting bugs. Qin Yan heard this, and cold sweat fell on his forehead. These electric eels, every 10 of them are more than 20 meters long. No one in the world wants to offend such a person. But Clay is just a little bug. It's really a good name. Qin Yan smiled faintly. But at this moment, Alice under his feet suddenly screamed. Sir, what's going on? Her. He was slightly stunned. Hearing this, Qin Yan's eyes flashed. A strong wind blew. The corpse of the electric lizard on the ground was disappearing rapidly. Then a golden building picture slowly appeared in front of everyone. Alice, you go first. Yes, sir. Whoosh. A silver light lit up. Alice's figure flashed and disappeared from the original place. The next moment, Qin Yan appeared in front of the corpse of the electric giant lizard. Sensing that a player was approaching, Qin heart moved. I saw a painting on the ground, suspended in the air. Then, a crisp sound came from his Li Zhao mind. Ding dang. Congratulations, you got a complete construction blueprint, laser cannon 1. Turret. Qin Yan was also stunned when he heard it. However, he couldn't help laughing. Laser cannon quality. Legend. Basic ability. Laser cannon. It can combine the power of lightning and the power of explosion, turning it into a beam to attack the enemy. Basic ability. Piercing gun. The laser will penetrate the target and attack the targets along the way. Basic ability. Melting. The laser cannon has the ability to melt the target's defense. Features. Charging. No need to charge, it can be used continuously. The ability attached to the divine skill of the chosen one. Chapter 220. This is the characteristic of the laser cannon. Building materials required for construction. 5,000 gold coins, 6,000 wood, 5,000 ores, 500 sulfur, 300 electric giant lizard horns, 50 angry beasts. Description. A top-level defense tower that can release lasers to attack the enemy has unparalleled destructive power, and as long as a certain amount of building materials are collected, a usable turret can be built. This is the characteristic of the laser cannon. There is no doubt. This giant cannon is extremely destructive. First of all, the power of the beam is much greater than that of an ordinary tower. Secondly, the armor-piercing attack and melting protection make the destructive power of the laser cannon rise to another level. In addition, all this is because of the god-level ability of Qin Yan, the chosen one. The laser cannon will also activate an additional charging effect. Under normal circumstances, laser cannons need to be charged. But now lasers will keep firing until you die. Thousands of laser cannons fired together, and the whole sky was covered with lasers. After closing the skill bar, Qin Yan still couldn't calm down. This is too scary. Out for building materials. Just after Clay cleared all the 080 electric giant lizards. 300 electric lizard horns were finally gathered. As for sulfur, let alone. This health fortress stores a lot of sulfur. And on Weijia's attribute panel, there is a detailed introduction. As long as Qin Yan collects certain building materials, he can copy it. Then, as long as I kill a few more and get the eye of the one-eyed dragon, I can make laser cannons infinitely. It was a huge monster. 12-level barbarian warriors. One-eyed dragon. They are all tall giants with an eye on their foreheads. Its size is almost comparable to that of mountain giants. However, their strength is much stronger than them. Their eyes can shoot death rays and destroy everything. This is not a simple spell. Qin Yan recalled, and then said to Clay next to him. Clay, when you fight those one-eyed dragons later, use your dragon princess state. Yes, CJCH, master. No matter how proud Clay was, she had to obey Qin Yan's orders. Clay knows. Master, master. Alice whispered beside Qin Yan. It seems that they have always been sworn enemies. Yes, Alice. Qin Yan nodded slightly when he heard this. It seems that these one-eyed dragons' favorite food should be them. Yes. Qin Yan remembered that in his previous life, he saw this in the government archives. What they love most are monsters like dwarves and dwarves. They also have an ability to swallow goblins to replenish their blood. Therefore, Qin Yan agreed very much with Alice's statement, that is, one-eyed dragons are born enemies of dwarves. Thinking of this, Qin Yan couldn't help thinking. Maybe, after Clay kills all the Cyclops, they will open the way to their kingdom for me and establish an alliance with me. This is not impossible. At this time. Go deeper. Alice, who volunteered to act as a scout, also brought good information. There is a Cyclops' nest ahead! Thank you, Alice. Qin Yan saw Alice's slightly embarrassed look. It was obvious that she was attacked by those Cyclops while looking for this map. Even if she didn't suffer any damage, it would definitely not be easy. Master, I'm fine. Alice waved her little fist and said, if Alice's strength is strong enough, I will definitely beat them to pieces. Alice also gained some experience in the previous battle. At this time, he is already LV5. Their level may not be as high as the Cyclops. But as an orange-clad hero, her strength is still very strong. With the strength of level 5, she was able to dodge the attacks of those one-eyed ogres. Apart from being beaten a little badly, she did not suffer any damage. If Alice's strength can be further improved, in this way, all the Cyclops can't get close to her. Moreover, most of Alice's strength comes from her heroic skills. This is the power of the Silver Wing Guardian, which cannot be replaced by anyone. Come on. With this thought, Qin Yan couldn't help but touch Alice's head, and the latter rubbed him with her arm. Next, let Clay fight them for you. Yeah. He nodded vigorously. Then, led by Alice, a group of Cyclops slowly appeared. This is the barbarians' garrison. On the other side of the mountain range, dense creatures gathered here. Jackals, ogres, Cyclops, they gathered together to form a huge military camp. That is for sure. Only in this way, with Clay's current strength, it is almost impossible to defeat her. In her eyes, jackals and ogres are garbage. Only in this way can Clay's attention be attracted. Only Qin Yan, this time, has to deal with a one-eyed dragon. Although their bodies are not as big as mountain giants, they are also 6 or 7 meters tall. What they hold in their hands are iron rods with barbs, which have a good attack power in close combat. It is also the most eye-catching. The only difference is the huge eye on their heads. His eyes are blood red, giving people a feeling that they can't look directly at. At this time. The huge black dragon was also noticed by them. They raised the steel weapons in their hands, and roared continuously from their mouths. Woo! Soon, the horn of battle sounded in the military camp. Clay. Gerlon whispered. Qin Yan took a step forward, landed on Alice's back, and gave a direct order. Kill them all! Yes. Findiest capture no much as great as Peluga has to L final. No se indeed all like Busgasms contendo exclusive YXO in medito. Siascrabata news teropatrian. Recurada, card alike, Siascripsino donaking nos anima continued. Great as a todos nos vemos on Alpxmodo.